Greetings. I'm going to keep this intro short as we will be ranking every missile weapon here in AC6. And by we, I of course mean me and Jack of Blades, a fellow AC6 content creator, who posts content of him climbing the ranks both on Xbox and PlayStation. And while doing so has developed a unique playstyle that he calls Missile Brawler. Because while most ACs with 3 or more missiles often play a more ranged and running away type thing, he instead prefers to rush in and play more close quarters. And so he has quite a bit of experience playing around with missiles, different combinations, and all that stuff. So who better than a missile specialist to join me for this tier list? You can find a link to his channel in the description of this video. And without further ado, I hope you enjoy and have a good one. Peace. Alrighty, we shall begin with the missile tier list. We have 29 to rank, starting at the top of the list in the garage with the Aurora all the way down to the Pulse missile launcher. Indubitably. The Aurora is a very interesting missile weapon, as its projectiles are pretty unique in how they're effective in both close and long range. Better at long range because the more airtime they have, the more precise they get. They also do scale with EN spec, so they can get more damage. However, their biggest downside is their reload is naturally pretty slow, so you'll need to run it with an FCS and a generator if you want to get the most out of it. And their FCS, although it increases your lock-on, it's not the best for like anything else. So it's pretty interesting. What do you think of this, Mr. Jackman?
I love these missiles. I've grown very fond of these missiles because I just found out about how it scales with the generator. So I started using the VE20B with this generator, and it's very, very, very strong. Again, big time missile user, SLT10 FCS paired with the RJ giving you the chance to get in close or far. And firing these missiles, I mean, these missiles are devastating. You don't want to get hit by them. It's very intimidating when you see them out in the field, and especially if you're wondering, are they using a VE20C, 20B, whatever? You're gonna find out real quick.
Oh, for sure.
You're gonna find out real quick when you get hit. Yeah, I love these missiles. These missiles are very, very good for causing pressure, stagger, causing harm. Yeah. Very, very good missile. What experience have you had with this? I know we talked about it a little bit. I know you told me you ran some of these from before as well, right?
Yeah, I've built whole builds dedicated to them, full-on 20B builds where you have like 2 Auroras, a Moonlight, normal Moonlight, not Redshift, and then like the Treadshot plasma rifle. And yeah, the damage can be insane. 2 Auroras on a 20B with the FCS best appropriate with them is insane. The lock-on time is quick. The damage is insane. You're better to be at range. If you're fighting someone close range, they're less likely to hit with every projectile will hit. And at that rate, it doesn't do insane damage. But if you're at all at a medium range, or if they want to play passively at all, they're going to get punched by it, and it's going to do a lot of damage. However, I will say, if you're using an AC that's not very well equipped for this type of missile, and you only have one of them, it's not incredibly great, obviously. Most of the time, if I'm fighting someone, if they're fully statted into it, and they're a full-on kite with one of them, and maybe a VE20C or something like that, it can be dangerous. If it's a 20B build with it, like on a chair, then it's super dangerous. But if it's someone that doesn't only has like a Hakushi or a Joso or a Santai or something like that, just has it for willy-nilly purposes just because it's cool, it won't really do anything. I don't consider it at all. So I think it's good if you build into it, but not very good if you're just not built into it, which a lot of other missiles, you don't really need to concern building into it too much. You can just kind of have one passively and it works fine. It does its job. This is definitely not one of those missiles. This is one you really need to build into.
100% agree with that. I paired mine with the VE20B, the FCS for the best lock-on speed, as well as the Moonlight, and it's devastating. If I get them staggered with the missiles and follow up with the Moonlight, it just evaporates their health. So this missile 100% build it around the generator. Without it, it falls completely under performance.
So I think with that type of assessment, I would say it's B.
Yes, I agree with B on this one.
Can really work, but also cannot. But I mean, I would say then it would kind of be mid because like, oh, it could work, but it also could be bad. But at the same time, it works so well when you pair it well and you build it right, that it's definitely worth how bad it can be if you don't build it right. Because it's very simple to build. It's an energy missile, build towards energy and that kind of play style, and you'll be chilling. So I think it's a good weapon. All right, next up we have the MLT 4-cell.
I feel like this is a missile that I don't know if people give it a proper amount of attention and love, but it does so much. Dude, there's been so many builds where they have it and it's just a complimentary piece of equipment. but it comes in such clutch moments against me and using it against opponents. I got it on the VE20B build because I needed something with low
Interesting.
energy but still some offensive,
Yeah.
and it comes in clutch. It right
Mm-hmm.
whenever somebody is staggered, if I'm rushing in close, I can fire off those missiles close. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
far, I can keep pressure. I can get something from entering in. I've had it used, like I said, against me where people are using very energy thirsty builds, but they have something to complement, range. So they have just this one missile, and it has caused problems. And it's surprising. It just surprised me so much. Like I pay attention to it. I've used it. I tell people all the time, like, listen, I'm like, if you need to reserve energy, think about this missile because
Mm-hmm.
it does the work. It's very good, super fast reloading, depending on your FCS2 as well. And if you want to have fun with it, you can put two for just for kicks, and these things
Yeah.
they'll carry up constantly. Just keep
Mm-hmm.
feeding missile after missile. So yeah, no, they're very good. They're very useful missiles. They're
Yeah.
very useful.
Their uptime is crazy. The damage obviously isn't insane, but it's pretty good compared to the uptime and the EN and weight cost. This is, I would say, the 4-cell and the Duo O2 are the best, the GOATs in terms of budget missiles. Something where you just kind of need something. You can't really get away with putting anything crazy on, but you can always
Hmm.
afford these, and they do the job, man. The uptime is great. Damage is okay. Impact is okay. Relative to its EN and shit, it's all great. It's honestly a really good missile.
So I would say mid. I would say give or take. Yeah, it's like that right in between. That right in between.
Yeah, okay. I think mid is fine. Maybe we'll come back to it as we adjust, but I think, yeah, mid makes sense overall. All right, now for its bigger brother, we have the the 6-cell, MLT 6-cell, which is a very good
The
missile.
multi.
You see it on a lot. Another thing to be added to the MLT line in terms of points um, and war deduction. Just like the 4-cell and 6-cell, they are forward-facing missiles. They are good for close range. If you're barrel stuffing, they're always going to land.
Yes, that's one of the biggest reasons why I like the MLTs. The MLT6, I use it on a couple of different builds, and it's for that very reason that if somebody ends up coming a little too close, I will try to get in just close enough or just get the right trajectory that those missiles will connect forward. That's the biggest reason why I love missiles that shoot forward wise. Um, Again, if they're
Mhm.
coming at you from above, if they're coming from you from straight on like a dual Zam,
Yep.
and they have no shield, I'll come in like I'm doing a kick. I know they'll do their boost, boosting backwards, and then firing the missiles, and it'll catch them in front.
Yeah.
I love these missiles for that reason. And again,
Hmm.
the reload time on this one is 4 seconds.
Yeah.
I I
It's
know my
nice.
reload time really well for my missiles. I love it,
Absolutely.
and I always keep tabs of like when I can fire them again. If I notice we're getting close, I try to get that reloaded before I go ahead and let that happen,
Hmm.
and use it to open, or I'm using it to retreat.
Yep.
The
Absolutely.
frontal, any missile that does frontal without any type of curvature or any type of, you take advantage of that
Yep.
against rush downs, against kites. As soon as you have a linear moment and you know you can get the trajectory to hit, frontal missiles will make things happen. They can seal the deal. They can get that stagger. They can finish a fight. It's wonderful. Take advantage of the frontal fire.
Absolutely.
100%.
Yeah, it makes them good for when you're attacking or being attacked. It's really, really nice. Again, like you're saying, pairing them with a kick or an assault boost is so nice because it's just you are now
Yes,
moving with the missiles and you basically are a missile. It's great. It's very fun. And the
it's
6L
great.
itself, in particular, is like the goat of all missiles where it's just like you don't really know what to throw on. You just want a good complementary missile for any close range or rush down build. You want a 6L.
Yep.
6L or 10-cell. Usually 6 because, again, it's in between. It's the medium child in between the 4 and the 10. It's the medium with, half the damage but double the reload. It's great. It's
Yeah.
the best, just like default missile, just to have a good missile.
That's
There's really no
100%. I
downside.
agree with. There is no downside. If you need missile, if you want a missile, if you have to have some type of missile and want to go with a good set of missile, this one's a perfect in between. MLT4 is for budget.
Hmm.
MLT6 is for like you can get a right in between where you get still nice reload,
Hmm.
nice amount of missiles, nice amount of damage. The 10 is for pressure.
Oh,
But the
absolutely.
6, if you can slap something on with missiles and you need missiles,
Yep.
this is going to help you a lot. It put everything else is bullets and all cool, but if you want missiles, this is a good safe missile that's going to have your back.
So yeah, with all that said, obviously it has to be somewhere in A or S.
Yes, I'm actually gonna go. I'm voting A for this one because
Oh
of
yeah,
how much has helped me, how much has worked for me, and how much is victories I've had with this. I'm putting it in A for great. It's a really
I
good
would
missile.
agree. Yeah, I mean, it's not like you just having this on will just win you fights, but I mean, it is just kind of also the goat of its category. So we'll say A for now. If we come back to it and think it's S compared to what else it lands in here, then that's fine. But it is either way, it is great. It is a great, great option. All right, next up we do have the big boy and the last of the MLT
It's
line. We have the 10 cell, the Power Baka favorite, chunky lad.
this one, man. I've started to grow fond of this one actually. I use it now on two particular builds, Steel Toe and Hawk Selectrum, and a VE20C build I have.
Mm,
Because I love missiles and all, so I use something completely different.
hell yeah.
Instead of using a what's it called, multi-cell or anything like that, I started using a 10 cell. And one thing I like about it was, yeah, the amount of pressure you missiles you can use and all. It depends on your movement and how well you can make these missiles work, because of
Mhm.
how long it takes for it to shell out.
Yeah.
Also, people need to keep in mind that whenever you do use these missiles, if you use a stance weapon, if you use anything that puts you in a different form of movement for a split second, this thing will stop
Yeesh.
firing.
Oh
So
yeah.
just so you know,
Yeah, yeah.
don't. No, I didn't know this forever. So I use it a couple times, and I'm like, why is it? Oh man, that sucks. So if they kick you, it'll stop. If you fire
Mhm.
like a bazooka or a charge weapon, it will stop. If you use pulse armor, it'll stop. So it's like, and you got to wait for reload after that too. So there is a downside. You have to keep space, you have to keep pressure, you have to keep movement to maximize this.
Mhm.
And there's a long reload time.
Yeah.
But if you can make majority of those missiles hit, if you can capitalize on situations where those missiles are going to track and hit and cause a moment for them to get staggered and get all the rest, this thing can really cause some problems for people. Because
Oh,
I've got hit
absolutely.
power blocker, yeah. I've met that the first time around, and then I had trouble at first trying to make space and constantly just 20 missiles coming at you.
Oh yeah.
First 10, second 10, yeah.
Mm.
So get used to like understanding that you can stop the missiles. Things start to shift and change. So space is definitely a big deal with these missiles, for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, they're a little heavier than the 6 cell, but yeah, if you play them right, like you're saying, don't interrupt your missiles. You know, don't do anything that will cancel them. You want to get every missile out before you do anything crazy. If you
Mhm.
have two of them like a power bucket and you space out the fire, it can be insane. If you go all
It
in
can
on an assault boost, doubles in and fire them all 20 because you know they're gonna land, then like yeah, it is pretty
go for it.
devastating.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it can be very devastating.
Obviously,
One other
leg
thing I
forward
like
facing. Oh wait, go for it.
One other thing I like to compliment about this
Hmm.
would be that these missiles are great for causing a lot of pressure,
Hmm.
and always. So I use whenever you fire the missiles. Here's a tip. When
Hmm.
you fire the missiles, you're going to cause people to move. Whenever they're moving, this is where you can take great advantage of charged attacks because you're making them suddenly quick boost, quick boost. Every time somebody quick boosts, there's a split second that they can't move or do anything else.
Hmm.
If you time those transitions just right while they're boosting through those missiles, you can backtrack, let them exhaust energy, and then try to catch them just right with some AOE style weapon
Yeah,
upon the
yeah.
last missile being shot at. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or an explosive, because they're constantly moving, constantly trying to dodge everything. Take advantage of those moments right near the end of your missile volley. Fire something
Yeah.
one or
Dark
once or
Souls
twice,
players
and
will
you catch.
recognize that maneuver as a roll catch. They dodge,
There
hit
you
him at the
get.
end of the
Yeah.
dodge because after you roll, you dodge. You have a little time before you can't do it again. So try to
Yep.
take that and predict it and get some punishing off of it. I will say, and honestly, why I think none of the MLTs will necessarily make it into S. Maybe we'll see about how we feel about the 10 cell. But why I think I'm more okay with this being an A again is because again, the biggest or one of the biggest anyway downsides to the MLT line in that they are forward facing missile, which again makes it good for anti-rush down, makes it good for rush down. It also does make them very predictable and one of the easier missiles to dodge. So although with a 10 cell, when they have it, and especially when you know it is up, you do not want to go for stance attacks, firing your bazooka on bipedal or reverse trend or whatever, because anytime you're standing still and this is being fired out, you're going to get punished. So you never really want to stand still when you know missiles are constantly around. But if you know that and you're not going to, stagger into or stance into it, the forward-facing missiles, the MLTs, are fairly easy to dodge. Their patterns are very simple. They're simple yet effective, but because they're simple, they can be played around with or played against in movement more than some other missiles. Like split missiles in duos are usually harder to dodge at a certain range, but MLT, harder to dodge at close range, but at medium to long, they're very predictable because they're very simple. So they do have that against them, which I think is what will stop ultimately the 6L from lane S, because they're very easy to play against if you're patient. But if the enemy with them plays very well into how they rush into it and play very close range, play with its ability, then that's very good. But yeah, I think that's what will keep it from S for sure. As for the 10 cell itself, its cons, obviously it's a lot heavier, slower reload. You don't want to interrupt it, so there's a little bit of a skill ceiling there and how you actually make it work. But if you play it like you kind of need to play it more aggressively. You can't play it as passively as a 6 cell, because again, the reload is a lot higher, so less uptime, as well as you can interrupt the full 10, because it doesn't shoot out all of them instantly. It's shoot, 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 shoot. So if you interrupt it halfway in, you might as well have just picked a 6 cell anyway. So it's a little
100%.
Yeah. So maybe with that, I don't know. Me myself, I'm leaning towards like B.
Yeah, no, I'm leaning towards B as well.
To make it really good, you need to run like 2 of them, like on Power Baka, then it becomes devastating. Just one of them, you need to be a little more cautious. And at that rate, you may have just run a 6 cell, unless you're going with some other stuff to really complement the less uptime of the 10 cell.
Agreed.
Like another complementary missile, like a 6 cell or a 4 cell. 4 cell and a 10 cell, pretty solid. Or if you have other handheld stuff that's better uptime, that kind of range, like a rifle or something. All right, next up, we have our first line of the split missile class, which I believe is 12 cell, 12 missiles, the split.
This is 12. So the 12 split missile. I was originally using this for, what was it?
Which is reload time is only 6 seconds as well, so it's not too dissimilar from the 10 cell, which is 6.4 seconds. So it's kind of in the same vein of uptime.
This one is a little more effective, in my opinion, than the 10 cell, and the biggest reason why if you're using it by itself with complementing, say again.
I would say, yeah, it's more versatile. Like you're not going to use a split in close range like you're going to use a 10 cell, so you're going to use them differently. But I would say this is more effective in every range versus, well, not really close though. Closest can be a little rough, but I'll let you explain more, because I've played around with split a lot, just as complementary missiles, but I never really built into them before. Unlike I believe you have. So you take it away, man. Tell me what you think.
So this one is in particular. This one I really enjoy this missile, and the reason why I use it with steel toe, a heavyweight that has a flamethrower and an attaché at the time, and an earshot. But what I loved about this missile is that as people are either approaching me or are running away from me, these were great pursuit missiles. Even in close range tangling, if I knew they were so quick boost far one way, I would shoot and then I would boost the other. No, I would boost the other way and shoot my missiles as they are trailing forward, and then get back close to them and then try to make them trail or whatever. And the missiles usually follow pretty well, but they were powerful. They were strong, beneficial to that. These are great for chasing an opponent. If you can mix these types of missiles in with another style of missile, they'll blend and they look like the rest. So they look and they assume they've dodged the proper. Like an MLT4, you shoot off MLT4 and a multi-missile, makes a multi-missile, will mix in with it, so they assume they dodge all the missiles. True, but then suddenly something comes up and hits them from behind. What the hell was that? Because that's happened to me.
Oh, for sure. That's the specialty of the split. They go out and then they explode and they come out at a different trajectory than what you would thought. So it's like, it can really iffy. If you're circling around your opponent and shooting him out, if you shoot him out at range, yeah, it's pretty rough.
If you can control the movement and engagements correctly, and you can cause them to dodge, like you said, it's very predictable. MLT6, MLT4, they're seeing it come at them, they're predicting to move, so they move. But if it's a split missile and they suddenly do that and they're not paying attention, it will trail behind you from behind and suddenly catch you off guard and clip you even. So I've had those moments happen to me. I've used these moments against others. The split missiles make for excellent pursuit missiles, but these are strong ones. These are very strong. These are very strong. But again, reload time. Pay attention to reload time. Cause a lot of movement as much as you can, either with your other pairs of missiles or with other types of firepower. If you can cause a lot of movement, exhaustion of energy, get them whenever they're descending, even these missiles will trail really well and they curve very, very well to catch your opponent off guard. So these are very lethal and sneaky very sneaky missiles.
And kind of what we're talking about with it'd be kind of cool or be interesting to see all missiles fire at once. You don't really need to worry about interrupting your firing pattern with a split missile because it only shoots. Sure, this is a 12 cell, so you more than 10, but it only shoots at twice, and then those split into all the missiles. So you don't really ever need to worry about staggering yourself out of shooting all of your missiles with a split missile because they kind of all shoot out at the same time, at least very quickly.
That as well. That is another thing as well. While you have those heading upon their way, you can be firing and setting up other things as well. So MLT10, like I said, it's a lot of pressure. It's all at once. But you have to let it finish firing. This one fires too. You can start working your opponent and just watch those missiles and wait for it to either land or prepare for your next attack. But this ones are very forgiving.
Hell yeah. So with that, I think it's kind of like the opposite, or it's two sides of the same coin, the other side of the coin of 10 cell. 10 cell is very similar in both. They have the same potency of power. One is more close range, but not great at other longer ranges, and requires you to obviously think about shooting out every single, or you need to wait until you shoot every shot before interrupting it.
Yeah.
So there's that tacticalness to it. It's a little simpler though, but still has that bit of skill to it. Versus the split missile, which doesn't have that. You don't need to worry about your firing time interrupting it. The skill to the split missile is it's effective in medium to long range. Close range is where you now need to really think about how you're actually going to fire and be patient when you're going to shoot it. You don't want to shoot it willy-nilly close range because chances are the enemy will move past its initial explosion, or it will explode fast, and then by the time it actually starts tracking from the initial explosion, they're already curved around it and it's fine, it's nothing. So you need to kind of decide how you work into it. Fire it before you're up close to them versus the 10 cell where you would fire when you're close to them. So I would say, 10 cell is good at close range, not great at other ranges. 10 splits is good at every range, not super duper good at close range. So they're kind of two sides of the same coin with the opposite trade-offs for what makes them good. For that, I would say they're in the same class as good because they're as good as each other, but made for different purposes. But yeah, what do you think though? Agreed.
I agree with this actually. Between the three split missiles, there is one that's going to reach A. This one though, I agree with B. I agree with B on this one for sure. This is a good complementary style of missile, I would say, more than an actual really a missile that you want to really count on. This one's going to take some work. You're going to need to know your movement, and if you want to get in close range with an opponent, you're going to have to really understand movement mechanics and trajectory. Because you can do it up close, but like you said, they split very quickly. Immediately, as soon as they get within range, they will split.
Yep.
You can work that, but it takes some know-how to where you want them to go for the missiles to actually have a higher chance of hitting. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's definitely This is B is a good placement.
Hell yeah. You don't want to treat a split like an MLT because it's not going to work out the exact same. All right, now we have the 8 cell. What do you think about the 8 cell? It's just, it's the 4 cell equivalent, the budget one. What do you think?
So this one I actually use on Hawks. I've used this particular weapon through 2 different platforms on multiple seasons, and at S rank 2 times, all right, with this particular weapon. This thing has saved my cheeks, guys.
Oh, yeah?
So many times, yeah. So, all right, this thing is just honestly very awesome weapon. It's a great support weapon. It's a great continuous pressure tool if you're using it with the missile FCS, the the 10, the what's called the FCS with the SBL 10 or whatever, SLT 10.
Yep.
This missile is great for whenever, let's say, if you have somebody rushing in at you and you're moving backwards, if you fire it, this thing will literally blossom behind them and shoot them straight in the back. I've had it come around and curve while somebody's chasing after me for a punish or attack. So I know when somebody puts the stance, I'll fire this out ahead of time. and I know I'm about to get staggered or something, I
Hmm.
will always fire the multi-missile ahead of time because there's a high chance as soon as I get staggered and I know how my opponent's going to come after me, that it will shortly follow after them coming to attack me and hit them, either sealing the stagger, winning the fight, getting the damage that I need for causing more pressure from afar or from up close. This missile is really, really versatile. And the amount of things you can do with it, the reload time, the benefit of having low energy costs and stuff like that and weight, it's a very, 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 very useful missile. This thing has saved my life. How many times I cannot even tell you. And I have 300 plus almost battles on my YouTube channel alone. To like they're in
Oh
there
hell yeah.
somewhere.
No, I
You'll
bet.
see them.
Yeah.
It's an amazing missile, dude. So like, no, this thing is like quick reload time,
Hmm.
even faster with the FCS paired, low budget and energy. The amount of versatility it can be used with, and again, blending the missile in with another style of missile, it'll catch you off guard if you're not doing it initially and you mix it in all of a sudden. It'll catch you and it'll do some damage. So this is a very useful missile. I hold it very highly actually.
Oh
So this
hell
is a
yeah.
very useful missile. Got
I
a
agree.
lot of
Yeah.
experience.
I myself have not used it a whole lot, so I'm definitely taking your word. I can obviously assume, based off just how split missiles are, being that it's so light, EN light as well, or EN less costly, and the damage it puts out 4.5-second reload time. I can definitely see why you hold it so high. So where would you say you would rank it? Is it all the way in A next to like a 6 cell equivalent? That's what it sounds like.
100%. A's. This one's going on A. I highly recommend people. If again, this is a very good budget missile that has
Hmm.
a special effect. If you're getting chased a lot, try to use this missile. Use it in moments whenever you know your opponent's getting closer within range to you, and then fire it out because they're so focused on you that they're gonna forget. Use these
Yeah.
missiles a lot more. Trust me. Is pursuit
They will
missile again,
fire
like I
out, and
said.
by the time the enemy makes it to you, their split will now be behind the enemy. So the enemy becomes
Mhm.
the chased, indubitably. Yeah, I like
I
that. It's very fun.
I wonder about shields, by the way. That's one last thing I will say. If somebody out there is having trouble with shields,
True, true, true.
try
Yeah.
these because it will go behind them.
Yep.
And there is always that too as well. So keep that in mind, guys.
Factual, factual. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, next. We have the
It's bad,
split
boy.
missile launcher, the 16 cell. Big boy, lots of missiles here. The last of the split launchers, the 10 cell equivalent, even though the 12 cell is kind of more like the
Yeah,
10. But this one has a 7.2 reload time. A lot of
yeah.
damage, a lot of missiles, but the reload time is rough.
So this one I have used as well back on Steel Toe, and this one was a big time, like heavy, like this one caused some harm if you get hit by it.
Hmm.
But the missile reload time, like you said, you have to make sure you're gonna make good use of those missiles because that's a lengthy time to wait.
Yeah, I feel like the 7 seconds kind of guts it. Like, that's way too long for a
It does.
missile.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
crazy.
That's excessive. I think if they would have dropped it to the 6.5, it's good. It's going to cause a lot of pressure, a lot of problems and all for people, but it'll be much more. It makes sense to me.
Yeah.
This is a very devastating missile. If you're trying to harm someone whenever you're actually making contact with these types of pursuit missiles, this is what you want to go for. To work these missiles properly, you're gonna need stuff that can keep maintaining pressure because these are going to be like your cherry on top kind of missiles. These are like your main reason why you're using this is because you know whenever or how to manipulate your enemy's energy pool. You're trying to get them drained enough to make sure that these missiles will hit. And the biggest reason why I say you're going to try to make sure these missiles hit because again,
You don't want to miss them. Missing them is
heavy.
going to be
Don't
so
want to miss them.
rough.
Yeah,
Missing them is like you might as well not
dude,
even have brought them.
that's what it is.
You're
That's
not
what
going
it
to
comes
see it
down to
happen.
almost. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not going to see it happen. No, it's really hard to say. I've used these missiles. I've made great use of these missiles. They come in handy, but I've also noticed I've been using the other split cell missiles, the dual ones there we have in B, and I noticed that it helps more because I can actually keep the pressure on, so I can actually hit something versus maybe I might use this 3 times in the match and the match is already over. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I love to use it. I would love to make it use of it, but it's like the long time of the reload and such like that, and so on. Like, yeah,
It's
7
kind of the
seconds is
first
a
of
long
a
time.
non-special missile. By special, I mean like the Aurora, where it has its unique scalings.
Yeah.
It's the first of that kind where you actually need to really build into it. Like you can have one of these on, and then other higher uptime missiles like a 4-6 cell or the 8 cell for the split missiles, or a duo or something like that, and other weapons like a kiting set, rifles, Harris's or Rensetsu, LRs, that kind of stuff. It's good as a kite. It's good if you have other stuff that has high uptime. But if you don't, this is not a
Mhm.
missile you want to slap on normally, and it's going to be less effective than something like a 10 cell, where the 10 cell has a decent medium or balance between uptime and effectiveness. Where if you miss a 10 cell, it's not the worst thing in the world. You miss one of these 16 cell split, you may only see yourself shooting it like twice or 3 times in a match, depending on how you're playing, obviously, whether you're kite or not, and then the enemy's a kite. So it's kind of rough. I would say this kind of deserves mid because, again, maybe mid or bad. I don't know. Because, like, it can work, and if it does work, it's solid. It's not like you really need to work super hard for it to work, but you need to consider it more than any other missile we've kind of discussed. At that rate, I would maybe
Yeah,
leave it in mid and bump the 4 cell up to C, because obviously they
I agree
probably
with
should
that.
not be in the same thing. And this is good. This is not great or the best, but it is good. And that fits for B.
Yeah,
This
it
is
is good.
mid. Most of the time, if you don't build into it, it's going to result in bad. But
Yeah,
overall, it's okay.
you have to really bleed into it, like how you said. You have to build into it for sure, because if not, it's basically it comes to the point where you say, "Why did I even bring this?"
Exactly.
If you're not going to
Exactly.
build into it, it's like, "I'm not going to bring this."
If that can ever be the case, where you can just be like, yeah, I probably should just not brought this. I could bring anything else. Then yeah, it's just mid. But if it works, and man, it can work, and the damage can be nuts, then it's like it can be worth it.
Agreed.
All right, now we move on to the duo missile set, the hybrid between the MLT and the split, as they do shoot out, kind of like split in trajectory in terms of they go out, but then they come back down. I guess they're more of a, they're kind of hybrid between like split and vertical more than MLT, because they go up and down, or up and around. They go out and down, so they're kind of mixed between vertical and split. The duo
They are great.
2 is, again, very, very similar in case to the 4 cell. I see it very much as a budget missile, although it is more of a kiting weapon where you're playing at range versus the 10 cell. Although, it's kind of a mix, because although you can use the duo as a kite weapon, it is also a good chase down weapon. So if your enemy is kiting a lot, you're fighting a lot of rats, this is good as a pursuit missile. Versus the 10 cell or a 4 cell, it's very predictable for a kite to dodge. This becomes a little harder, but it becomes very not good at close range. Close range, it will go up and then over your enemy a lot. So it's good at medium long as a chase down. Kind of do chips. Say you're a heavier boy and you're having really a tough time chasing down lights, and you need to do something that has any type of reach to keep the impact up, or do some type of poke damage at range. The duo set is pretty good for that. What do you think about the duo?
Yeah, no,
The duo.
I love missiles, dude. The trajectory was something I had to get used to, 100%. Because it's true, you have to use it in a certain amount of space. Because if not, it's gonna basically just go right over and then just not do its thing.
Yep.
So I've been on the receiving end of these missiles a lot more than I've ever used them. And dude, yeah, no, it hurts. It hurts. Harris, Renzetsu, RF, anything with high stagger, like if you get hit with the missiles on top of things like that, you're in trouble. That's what it feels like just immediately. So no, these are really great missiles. Like good budget missile. They're super light. They go on anything. And man, if you can make that distance happen, geez, like those missiles cause trouble. I've had trouble with them.
And they have
the
fastest reload, if anything, we've really discussed so far, with only 3.1 second reload. So these things are popping off constantly.
There are quite a few people that use them in teams. I've picked them up as well for Hawks. I have the Duo 2 and the Duo 3 with MLT4, because the amount of rapid fire of missiles, and people are not suspecting it, but the amount of damage and the amount of stagger it causes is fast for missiles. Best one.
They're great.
Best freaking yeah, dude.
They go out a little slow, but then when they curve right down, it is quick.
Yeah,
it is nice.
It is quick, and it really could catch you off guard as well too. And that's what's devastating these particular missiles. So, no, these ones, dude, they were talking about like these are A or S.
Ooh,
these are A or S.
Huh?
very high up. And
Yeah.
the reason why I say is because I've a lot of times they can cause some big issues. They're always going to put on pressure, and they're super effective when it comes to missiles. For yeah, capitalizing a stagger, putting pressure on. If you're a dual melee, I've had dual melee use them a lot whenever I'm trying to keep distance. That's always I got to worry about those. But also, one thing to keep in mind that people don't, I don't see people do often. When you are going around certain cover, those missiles are able to
Yeah.
go around corner, like you know what I mean, like over like a certain angle.
Yeah, because they
It's
come at the
so
side like a
excellent.
javelin, so they can go right around the cover. It's good times.
That's a really great missile for that. Yeah. So if you're looking to shoot somebody, like if you're taking cover behind a pole, which I've done, and they're still approaching from far, and you just shoot those missiles out and they split right around that cover and shoot right at them while they're trying to go left or right, they're gonna get hit. I've had that, and it's great.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. It's pretty sweet.
It is. Those are great missiles. Those are really great missiles. I vote A
Yeah.
or B for this one, but definitely the rapid reload, a constant pressure from stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really great missile.
Yeah, absolutely. I would not disagree. These are great as budget. They're great just as a missile by themselves, just as a option. Even if it's not necessarily budget, it's good. We'll save on some weight. Yeah, pretty much all the points you made. They're just good, man. They're just good. They're hard to dodge.
They're
They're
really
nice to
good.
play with. They're not good at close range necessarily most of the time, but it doesn't really matter because you're doing so much before you even lock in close. So just make sure you're not a pure
Yeah.
rushdown. If you're rushdown, why are you using this? But yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. If you're close quarters, absolutely rock it, especially if you fight a lot of people that want to cut you, because you'll be able to do at least something at range before you close in, which is big. So yeah, hey,
Yeah.
I'm fine with A. They are great. They are big. All right, now we have Duo 3, which are very similar, have very high reload time, only 3.5 seconds, so again, very, very quick. A little more damage, a little heavier, but not heavier by an insane amount, only 3.4, 3,450 weight, so nothing crazy. EN also very, very light. Yeah, Duo 3. I've rocked a Duo 3 a lot. It used to pretty much be what I would rock over 6 cell for the longest time, because I had more medium to close range builds versus pure rushdown. Yeah, pretty much all the same points for Duo 2, just less uptime, essentially, because they're the exact same thing, just less missiles, and the uptime difference isn't crazy. It's literally only a couple seconds, 0.4 seconds difference. So, yeah, but again, it's a little lighter, so you can rock it as... The Duo 2 is more of the budget option, while the Duo 3 is more of just like, hey, you can just run it because why not? And if you want to wait a little less, it's about the same in terms of reload now.
It's true. This is another great missile that stands alone by itself very well, and you can run everything else around it without any other missile. This is a good one. If you want to, this is great if you want to use missiles more often compared to the Duo 2. You're going to run out of ammunition pretty quickly over time. You know what I mean?
Yep.
This one, a little more ammunition, a little more damage, a little more missile for some added pressure.
Yep.
And it's just by itself, it's just a really, really, really great missile. Again, keep your range well. You can play from behind cover. Low energy budget, so you can, if you wanted to run an energy build with something like this, it's going to complement it really well. If you want to run something light or medium, it's going to complement it well. Heavier set stuff, again, you can run it and run that, everything else around it. So light armament, medium armament, heavy armament, energy. Because of doing this tier list, by the way, I've really grown very fond of those two missiles, the Duo 2 and Duo 3, because I've started to learn how to use them more effectively now because of that pincer. Anybody out there listening, elevation gives you range, just throwing it out there. Absolutely. I'm not going to say anything else. I'll show you myself when I'm out there in the battlefield, but just know elevation gives you range.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yeah, it's peak.
Beautiful pincer objects. That thing's awesome. Yep. Yeah, dude.
So yeah, with that, I mean, it's essentially in the same ranking as the Duo 2 because they're almost the same. It's just one is more susceptible to being more of the budget option. But like, yeah. I don't know, because you could run two Duo 2s, and oh my god, the uptime is crazy. But you could also just get away with one Duo 3, and you'd be pretty fine. But less uptime
for
overall.
teams That's what I've got is a Duo 2 and a Duo 3. I'll use a Duo 2 and the MLT4 to kind of like spice them up a little bit, and
Yeah,
then I'll hit
absolutely.
the Duo 3 to like solidify the final moment, and then fire the other two missiles shortly after it's about to make contact and stagger, so I get all that damage too. So I love that. All of those missiles.
Hell yeah. All right. First two in the same exact category to hop on into the A rank. Pretty goated, because they're so similar. They're just good, man. All
They're
right,
just good, yeah.
now we have the odd duo. The duo I don't see a lot, nor do I use a lot because I just use the others over it. We got the other duo 03.
This particular one, I actually just
The G2
solidified
PO03
it.
or 03.
This one I put on Tempest recently. It's a lightweight I had with a therapist, and I fell really in love with that missile for whatever reason as a good retreat missile. So as you're retreating, how its trajectory isn't like how the Duo 3 shoots it immediately. This staggers the shot a little bit.
Seen that, yeah.
And for some reason, yeah, so that little bit of a different behavior catches my attention, and I wondered about it because I'm like, I wonder how you can utilize this left, right, left, right, left, right. I'm like, huh. So one of the things I'll say with this particular missile, again, it's a really good missile. It's good for some type of like momentary kind of behavior. One thing I'll say is whenever you're retreating or your opponent is retreating, this is a good missile for like doing that kind of behavior. This is where I've been using it as, though, at least because I have a lightweight that can trail really quickly. This missile isn't going to shoot immediate like the Duo 2 or Duo 3. So you have to really kind of like play around with this. I'm still learning. I'm going to be 100% honest with you, but it is strong. If those missiles hit, it hurts and it's strong, and it gives you the opportunity to do more things also as well. So while those missiles are firing, you can shoot other weapons as well, but you just can't. I think you can't stance yourself. I haven't tested that theory out yet, but you can keep firing other things too while that's still going off. So while they're moving left or right or whatever, you can take advantage of their movement as well. So this is where I'm seeing this missile become a thing that can be useful. Because if it was all at once, they can dodge with one movement. But since it's staggered, they have to keep movement some way, shape, or form, meaning that you can fire one other missile to catch them as they move another way, exhausting more energy, and then hitting them with either an AoE weapon or a bazooka or an explosive instead. So this missile is to cause a lot of movement and a lot of different dynamics whenever battling your opponents, I would say. But I'm still getting used to it for what it is.
I get you.
But it's strong. It is strong for what it is, though. I have noticed that.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've not used it a whole lot. Purely off of observation, it seems like the projectile speed of it might be a little slower than a duo, or the other duos anyway, but that might just be me seeing that because it looks like it. Because, again, they shoot at different times, so maybe it just looks a little slower versus all at once. But, yeah, I don't know. I just haven't really used it a lot. It's a little stronger, but a little slower than the others, so... I don't really ever see myself choosing it over the other duos, but yeah, the benefit of it shooting at different intervals makes it definitely pretty neat in terms of, you dodge one, mega hit by another type thing instead of you dodge them all. You dodge them all in one dodge. Dodge one of them, dodge them all. In this, you dodge one, you may have not dodged them all type deal. So
you got to keep moving kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah, I need to see it in better play to really gauge on whether I feel good about it. Because right now, I would just think I'd probably just take anything else over it. So maybe mid?
That's a big I would say mid, yeah. I would say mid right now because I'm not... I see the use for it. I see the potential for it. I haven't had much experience with it. I don't see a lot of play with it. But I'm wondering about it now after playing with it a little bit. I feel it fits well with what I got, and I want to start revisiting that missile a little more and see if I can make some good use of it. But the Duo 2 and Duo 3, you're going to see them quite often. Yeah. They are excellent missiles.
Absolutely.
So it makes me wonder again about this one.
It's a little quicker than the split 8 cell, so it's like, can't just count it out and say, oh, why don't I just run the split missile and then, you pretty much just have it, but better. But, it's not as quick, so only by 0.5 seconds, but still, it's interesting. It's interesting. Or a second in total, I mean, but yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. Have to see more of it to really have a big opinion, but for now, it's in between like C and D for me. So we'll leave it at C.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, now we get into some interesting territory. We begin our delve into the vertical missile category, the explosive category. So
S
yeah,
rank.
we have the 4-cell vertical
The
an
board's so
immediate S. That's it. Just move on.
it's a
That's
shitty weapon,
yep,
S weapon.
yep.
Let's move on. Let's no,
No show
honestly,
P
so
weapons. It's there. Legendary.
we all we have all played Armored Core. I played since the very first game. I've messed around with vertical missiles
Oh,
before
they're
in the
nice.
past. For um, this one, in this particular game, vertical missiles have been done so poorly. It's like I walked in, tried it out. What did they do to my boy? Uh,
Yeah.
no, these missiles get no love whatsoever. I've used it. I trained with it. I actually did get kills with the vertical missiles in the arena, working certain mechanics and all. But I'm gonna be honest with everybody. These missiles are not very useful. They're not very viable in moments that you can use it. The pressure you can put with the 4-cell vertical is there, but there's only two major points I've seen it can be used is whenever your opponent can't see them coming because they're behind cover,
Yep.
or you're circling them quick enough through melee, trying to keep them centered by moving dramatically around them.
Mhm.
If you can keep moving around them to a point or get them to stay still for a second and they get hit by it,
Yeah.
then that's about it. But last scenario as well, if they are punished and staggered and you have fired them off ahead of time
Oh, yeah.
before they, you know what I mean, then it'll count for something. But you have to line these stars up, and they're so hard to line up for something so minimal of payback. Like, it's not worth it. I tried. I tried.
I mean, like, yeah, their damage is awful compared to their other counterparts. Like, it's less than the 4-cell of the MLT line, and this is the 4-cell of the vertical line. So, like, there's, like, almost no redeemable quality. It's neat, you could think, to run, like, vertical missiles on something like with a pulse blade or a laser blade, where you stagger, or a kick-oriented build, where you kick them and then the vertical come down to hit them, because you're forcing them to stand still, and that's where they're going to become the most effective. But it's also the same can be said for any other missile. Every missile is also effective when the enemy's standing still. Every weapon is effective when the enemy's standing still. So it's like, you can't give these any real, like, unique pure upsides, other than it's like, oh, they get hit around cover, but so could the javelin, so could split, so could duo. There's like no good thing to vertical, man. There's just it's so rough, man. They need a desperate rework.
Guys.
One thing they have, I would say, is good. Their tracking is incredibly good, but they have like no predictability. Like, they'll track you to right where you are, but as long as you're moving at a solid speed, you're not going to get hit. Like, they don't take much to dodge. And I understand that, because, you know, if it's super good tracking and you can't see them because you're not going to be looking up mid-fight, then, you know, there's nothing you can do. So they have to be faster than you. And they can't have proxy death, they can't have AoE, otherwise they would just be OP because they're so good at tracking. But it's like, they desperately need a rework. A concept we were talking about just before this tier list, what Jack was talking about, is it'd be cool if the missiles actually had an effect. If a vertical hit you, it would push you down. So if you're airborne and the verticals hit you, they would actually force you to go lower, which would be really neat. Say they didn't do a lot of damage, but their tracking was really good, their speed was really good, so they were almost guaranteed to hit most of the time, but they wouldn't do a whole lot of damage or impact, but they would force you down lower to the ground for other things, for like melee play or anything else. That'd be great for melee, because you would force the biggest thing that hurts melee, verticality, into more of a manageable position, which would be huge. That's a great observation, a great idea. I think I should totally do that. There should be some to a missile that does that. That'd be really cool.
It should be something, a missile or something like that, some type of something that complements a certain playstyle like melee. Like, again, I think a lot of us are looking for attachment parts. I forget what it's called, but I played through a lot of the games before. I forget all of it now. It's so many years, but the additional parts you get to complement your AC to like people that like melee a lot. I think that there should be things for like to help that, like a vertical missile or something like that. Make it some type of an effect. I don't know, something, but a rework needs to be done to those missiles because they're there, but they're dismal in performance.
It's rough.
And we tried. I tried, dude. And I had to do so much work just to make it effective, but I'm like, that's not worth it. Good show, but not worth it. Oh my goodness.
At that rate, I would just say, like, every vertical outside of like maybe the what's it called, 12 cell, because at least if this hits it's gonna do damage, but the others it's like you might as well not even bring them, are just like the
So the
worst.
12 cell, that was actually a fun one to tamper around with whenever I used melee. And the biggest reason why is because if you do strike somebody with melee, that thing's going off for a while. It takes a minute for the fire off, and it does take a minute for it to land.
And as the
And with the
7-second reload,
amount,
which is also rough. Yeah, if you make them stand
yeah, that was
still, I can see the damage being, damage being that.
I use it
It's
with
the
my
highest out of
Ibis
any
setup.
other missile we've discussed so far. So yeah, if you get this to land, it will it will do a lot of damage. It's a good stagger punish, good melee oriented
It is
build. I would say if you're gonna build any, like what I was saying with the laser blade or the pulse blade, any melee weapon that staggers the enemy, even outside of an actual stagger like a kick, then you could slap on 2 of these 12 vertical cells and you might be able to play with something fun. Will it be super effective and really good? Probably not, because you need to wait for your missiles to work and time it with a melee attack that may not land, so it's all very iffy and you don't know. But if it could work, ideally, kick them and then all the verticals land. Oh my god, that could be crazy.
Oh yeah, that'd be fantastic.
That'd be cool. Not very likely to always happen and very reliable, but if it happens, it'd be really cool.
That would be really cool to see. Actually, there is one particular missile I use that technique with that we'll get into whenever it does come about. But yeah, 100%. Just that's the technique. That 12 though, I will place it in E. I will
Yeah, I agree.
place
I
it
agree.
in E.
That's what I'm saying. Every other vertical goes in F because they're just poo-poo. But yeah, this vertical, at least it has some power to it, so it barely climbs up to at least E. It's not good. It's trash.
There's some hope there.
Yeah, you can maybe make it work. You have to try really hard, but you can make it work for a cool, fun alternative build. But,
honorable mention to one of the pilots that did use. I don't know if it was the 12 or the one right below it, but they did use it. They were in a high rank of A, and they were making it work very well against me because I was in trouble to fight against them with that. That was surprising. But yeah, no, they did use. I gotta look back on it again because I'm like, I don't know how he made it work so well, but he had a tetrapod with the vertical missiles, and they were working.
Hell yeah!
So I gotta find out whatever they were doing.
Hell yeah, for sure. That's pretty sick. Yeah, definitely have not seen vertical work enough. Tried. It's just they're more PvE than PvP, it seems, in design. So
yeah,
that's a rough one. Always will be the laughing stock of the missile community for a while, it seems, until they get reworked. The fateful day. All right, now we have both of the act homing missiles, the 1 cell and the 2 cell.
I like these missiles a lot. Okay, so the single homing missile.
I think this is really neat. 2.4 second. The lock-on is obviously a little slower than most, but like not crazy. You don't really need to run the FCS to make it usable. It's just a little slower. But honestly, its slowness kind of pairs well with it because you can almost have an infinite line of them going out, as long as you fire them at a medium range, because like, you know, while you fire yours out, it's going really slow. Their nature is to be really slow in terms of projectiles, makes them pretty accurate, and always kind of there as a pressure, which is nice. Unless of course you can always kind of counter these missiles, I find, if you intentionally go closer to them and then loop around them, do a really close loop, and you're pretty much screwed. But that does require you to focus on that and use EN to get rid of it. So either way, the enemy's getting value after firing it, whether it lands or not, which is always nice. Unless it just runs off and hits something, because based on the map. But yeah, it's interesting. With its reload time and its projectile speed, it can be kind of up all the time. Kinda.
That's the best part about those missiles, in my opinion, is exactly what you said. It steals 2 things from the opponent. It's your attention and your energy pool. And if you're not paying attention to everything else, it can definitely be a problem. You can swarm, you can have a lot flying around in the arena over time. If you're not catching your opponent, they just start filling the air full of those things. Dude, and that's just one missile. Like you have to pay attention to a couple of them, and they're being fired all around you at times. So while you're paying attention to 1, 2 more are like, homing on you from different angles that you can't see yet until you get them inside. And then now you have to worry about your actual opponent with his 3 other weapons too. So those missiles, I've had an opponent where they constantly kept putting out those missiles. They were keeping distance and they just kept missile. And then until they had 3 or 4, then they started attacking me. And then I'm like, okay, wait, hold on. wait. I'm like, oh man, yeah, no, it's the uptime on those missiles. Again, they're slow, but surprise, surprise, there's another one and another one and another one.
Yep.
Was that the one I dodged or is that a new one? Like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, for
dude,
sure.
I like those missiles a lot. Those are
Yeah,
very
they're
good
very cool. They're
pressure
very unique.
building missiles.
Mhm.
They are very unique, but man, when they hit too,
Oh yeah, the impact is crazy. They pair very well. Like
yeah,
high impact
dude,
builds are just ultimately just getting. It's just they can be sneaky, man. They can be sneaky. You need to focus up.
super sneaky, dude. And
Cannot
you can
forget
be
about
like,
it.
you're staggered, not full yet, kind of thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm so
Hmm.
good, and all of a sudden,
Boom.
you don't
Hit
know
right in the
how
back.
bad it.
Yep.
And yeah, then you're staggered all of a sudden by one, get hit by another while getting about to get a punish. Oh man, yeah, there, it's yep, yep.
It's great. So yeah, I would
Past
rank
experience
these
is coming back.
essentially both the single and the second with I'll put them in the same rank because they're again pretty much just the same thing, just with the obvious trade-off: 2 for 1, double the reload, but double the reload is only 4 seconds anyway, so it's nothing crazy. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, where would we rank these? Do you think? I would
These are,
say, yeah. Where would you think?
I'm thinking between C and B. They're not
I agree.
super crazy weapons. They're a good complementary weapon that you need time. It
Hmm.
needs a unique time, and depending on how good your opponent's attention ability is and energy management,
Yep.
it can make or break the situation. But shout out to Thrice, by the way. If I remember,
Mm.
he had the two and the single on one time,
No, hell
and
yeah.
he was using it for like an AOE build. So it was just
Big.
constantly just all floating around. I'm like, yeah, no, that thing, those
Tons
missiles
of
will
heat.
do some stuff.
Yeah.
I would say, I want to say, I do, yeah, C actually, C.
Hmm.
It's if and whenever it hits. Not these are great weapons. These are guaranteed to hit.
Yep.
You have to, you gotta like play. You're playing around
Hmm.
them. You're letting them do their job while trying to steal your opponent's attention. So it takes a lot of you to make this weapon work.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say
So I would say
then with
that.
that as well. Yeah. Okay. If these are like mid. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Well, the single, I
Because
would
like
say the
comparing
single.
these to these, it's like rough. Should we move these splits and this duo down to like D?
Yeah,
Because they're bad until
yeah, I
proven
remember the
really
D.
good, and then like these are more mid
Agreed.
because they can really work, but also they require a little more patience and a little more thought to put into them versus any of like B or A. Any B or A you can kind of slap on outside of the unique Aurora, but the Aurora's up here because although you
Yeah,
need to think about it quite a bit, unlike the other ones in this category, the upsides of thinking about it are they're amazing. So it gets bumped up here. Naturally, I would put the Aurora in C, but because again they had higher damage, they're great lock on. Its unique effects, it bumps
yeah,
it up. But yeah, for these, you do need to think about them a little more than versus anything like this. But if you do think about these and you really play into their strengths, they can be as effective as any of these. So they're kind of mid. They're in between.
100% with that.
Hell yeah. All right, next ups. What have we? Oh god, we have the container
Oh,
missiles. This is gonna be an
yes,
interesting one.
yes.
Oh god.
I've really fallen in love with this one recently, man. This is
Uh,
actually a big. I'm having fun with this one, actually. Yeah.
we got the
All right.
CNT, the cunt, the container missile.
Uh,
Which has a lot of damage
have you had it?
potential, and it's 12-second reload. It's also very unique in that
I,
they don't really like lock on. You kind of just shoot and make sure you're looking at them, and they kind of do their thing.
mm-hmm,
But yeah, for me, oh my god, I hate it. I think it's so bad. I've never seen it work well ever. It's not Ian costly, but it is heavy. Its reload time is insane, and I barely see any of it land. It's just like confetti. It just like doesn't do anything. I think it's so useless. Like anytime updating or upgrading a build that has this on it, the first thing this has to go. It can't stay. Any other missile will do its job better, I think. Now, if you've actually played around with it and you have anything on it to say, go for it. But for me, I'm like, yeah, this thing sucks. This thing is
so
trash.
no, I originally thought the same too until I picked it up and started. I seen other people use it. I seen people how they use it. I also seen people use it in teams. I have used it in teams. And a missile toucher pod that I had. I usually would use it in teams to catch people off guard completely as they don't know where I'm at, and I'm high in the
Yeah,
sky, and someone just shoot one in the center of their combat,
yeah, I
and then
bet.
suddenly they're just swarmed. Everybody's getting swarmed all of a sudden.
I think that's probably the only
That's what's
application for the
annoying.
threes or teams.
Three
That's
is
where
a
it
good
can
application.
shine.
Three is a good application whenever your opponents are completely unaware of your presence and you shoot one in before entering the battlefield. It can cause some serious problems, disruption to a lot of other people, and help your opponent, your friendlies as well. Singles. This one's not one you want to lead with. This is one where you
Yeah.
want to capture your opponent while they're engaging you in the middle of battle, like after damage has been taken in for them. And the reason why I say that, if you shoot it ahead as an entry style weapon, you're entering battle with it. Your opponent has one solid option to prevent damage. Run away.
True.
Just stay the hell away from it. Just stay away from the area of attack, and then from there on, wait for this to fade. They suddenly
I
have
don't
to
even
wait
do
for
that,
it to
man. I
reload
just
again.
pretend it doesn't exist and it works out. I've never
That too.
struggled against
That
it in
too.
singles, man. It's because, like, it
That
has
too.
so many missiles and it can do a lot of damage if it all lands, but they're so slow. And it's just like,
They
I don't
are.
know. Just brush them off.
Yeah. I want to use it. I have not used it in PvP yet. I've been dabbling with it, and I've made usage of it by how I play my movement a lot. I know I gotta wait for it to reload. So what I'll
Hmm.
do is I like to go ahead and put pressure on my opponent while other missiles are homing in. I have X amount of seconds until that canister is done. So while I'm doing as much as I can to swarm them, I'll do whatever damage I can. Wait for that shit to finish, the silo to finish shooting, and then make space real quick and try to allow it some time, give them some space, whatever like that. Let them kind of like orient themselves all of again, try to figure
Hmm.
out what I'm doing, and then repeat the process a little bit. But a sudden swarm of pressure is how I'm looking how to use this.
Yeah.
Just staying on my opponent as much as I can and kind of controlling their movement and catching them off guard as much as I can. So it allows missiles to kind of like get contact and all. But the Javelin Beta, MLT4, container missile on the left shoulder, and then the red shift on the left hand, that has been my ideal approach to taking this. I'm gonna take it into PvP
Yeah.
sometime soon to check it out and try. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. One thing also
I
negative about containers themselves, and this suffers because it is a container, it will stagger you when you shoot it. It will stance you.
Yep, it stances
So
you
dumb.
out.
I don't think that should be a thing at all. That's so
I don't
dumb.
happy at today.
You don't take a
Oh, I'm
missile
so
that's
mad about
bad
that.
and like everything and just slap that on. It doesn't make any sense. You slapped it on a missile that it's
It would be great for
good.
this message.
Why?
You gotta stance yourself to make sure it fires so you feel cool. No,
Yeah.
no, absolutely not.
If I got a fire and it's gonna make me stand still, this better do some crazy shit. But no.
It's got to be really good then. Yeah, that's the downfall by it though.
And
It's
it's such
like
a cool
there's a stance
concept
to
because it's
it.
like basically the stars of ruin from like Elden Ring. It's just a big cluster of just missiles constantly seeking out randomly. So it's like it's such a cool concept. I would love to see it work. Maybe I'll try to make a build as well. Maybe see if I can maybe make it work in PvP. But like, man, it's not gonna be easy. That's for sure. So all that, I'd
It
probably
definitely
throw it
is.
right with vertical in that you can maybe make it work if you especially build into it. Just you have to make it work. You really just have to put your whole build into trying to make it work, and at that rate, it's not even guaranteed. But it's kind of like a fun challenge. The thing, like everything in F, I feel like is just like there's literally no point using it. Everything in E is kind of like it's so bad it kind of wants you. It makes you want to use it because yeah, you want to see it
Yeah,
work. It's an interesting challenge.
it's
It's
like, yeah,
like,
that's
oh, this is
part.
dog
It's a
poo poo. Let
challenge
me
of
make it work.
weapons.
No,
If you
scheiße.
can make it work, you'll be looked at for sure. You'll be like, how the hell? Like, but if you can make it work, kind of thing, it's a challenge weapon for sure. The other ones, like I said, the verticals, no, it's if you want to challenge yourself, by all means, I respect that.
Yeah.
I've tried it and I just know it's not worth it. But the container missile, it's charmed me in a way. It has definitely captured my attention to say, hey, I might try this. I will not lie. Now, will
Yeah.
I win with it? I don't know. Will I try?
Exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's a great
give it a
challenge
shot.
weapon, but yeah, it's just I would never take it seriously though into like a serious climb or anything like that. All right, the last other container missile. I wonder why they only made two. We have the delivery boy, which I would
This
say
one,
is the better of the containers because at least it has AOE and a napalm. Does it leave napalm or no? No, it doesn't.
no, I wish it did leave
It should.
napalm,
That'd be
but
cool.
it does drop explosives.
Yeah, does it? Yeah, it has a lot of AOE with his explosive strafing, and it stays alive for a while. And you know, if you, I would say it's better if you want to play like vertical missiles and go with the whole, oh, I'm going to kick you or hit you with a melee weapon that's going to make you stand still, and then this will come in and do something, this has more chance to do it. Or your timing isn't crazy. You can shoot it out and then go for the attack, and you have a little bit of wiggle room for it to come around and do its job. Versus vertical, where it's like you have the one shot. If it comes in to do it and you're not ready, or the enemy isn't staying still, you're screwed. This has a couple of strafes before it's finally done. But again, it is heavy. It is Ian costly. The reload is 9 seconds, so a little bit better than the CNT, but not by a whole lot. But the damage impact is maxed out, and the impact for direct hit adjustment is good. The guidance is good. Effective range is nice. Effective range is pretty much just infinite. Homing lock time is 5 seconds though, so it's reloaded 9 with a 5-second lock on. So it's like, ugh. I would never say it's like a good weapon, but it's more usable out of like. I would take this over vertical, and I would take this over the CNT, but I wouldn't take it over almost anything else. It's kind of another good challenge weapon. What do you think?
This is a very unique challenge weapon. I've seen Thrife use it, I think, in a dual manner, having it on both shoulders. I think another guy that we've had on our clan as well has used it in some PvP and PV team settings as well. I've tried to use it. I want it to work. I want to learn. I want to understand how to use this weapon, but it's cool. It's very cool, but even against arena opponents, I've noticed that they definitely stay away from it, and it takes time for it to go ahead and reach its trajectory, and it takes time for it to drop its payload. So that's the one thing. And if you can catch them though, it can definitely do something. I haven't been effective. I haven't had a good effective battle with it where I saw it shine, but I definitely have had chance moments where I've caught enemies in the arena with it. But man, I want it to work. I want it to work. I want to work with it more. I'm not very well experienced with it. I know there are some pretty unique individuals out there that do make good use of some of these weapons. Please let us know, because I want to hear more about it.
Absolutely. But, yeah. Any helpful tips with this stuff, especially the stuff we don't talk on a whole lot? Because again, like, I have not used the delivery boy, I think, once in PvP. Maybe I have on a blue moon, but like, I don't think I've ever actually seriously taken it into it. Like, it's
hard for me.
It struggles in PvE. You know, when a weapon struggles in PvE, that it is not going to make it very far in PvP.
Definitely.
It's rough.
What I think, it is rough, and like you said too, it stances you out. The long reload time, the long lock time. What I wish it did was it was moved a little bit faster, and if possibly it could leave napalm behind on its trail. Would have been a cool effect.
Absolutely.
That would have been a cool effect. So it leaves some, like, you know, some behind of effect. So like, there's some extra reasons why to use it, I would say.
Absolutely. Yeah. If only it were better. So I guess with that, again, goes in E. It's a good challenge weapon.
I'd say E.
You could barely
It's
make
a challenge
it work. Maybe. Even if you build into making a weapon, it's still a gamble.
It's still a gamble, yeah. It's quite the gamble, but it's a very unique thing to see. And when you get it, though, I can imagine it feels very rewarding.
Oh, for sure. Oh, absolutely, because you made something that usually doesn't work. That's amazing. All right, now we have the Scatter Missile Soup, which is a very cool missile. Long reload, but again, it shoots. You have 3 shots of it before it has to reload, so it's very unique in that regard. And overall, pretty cool. I see it often as a kind of more ranged-based 10 cell, because again, you have a bunch of shots. And it's a little slower and kind of goes off at an angle, so it's more like a duo mix 10 cell, where you want to play it more at a range as a chase down missile or a range-based rocket versus something close range. Using the Soup close range doesn't really work for you well. Using it any range, it does. And the fact that you can fire it multiple times before reloading does make it pretty sick. And yeah, it looks like wings, so you know, it's got style points for sure.
Definitely style points. Yep. I thankfully had got a tip from someone else to create Hawks in a different way, where I actually used the Soup missile on one of the shoulders, and I got accustomed to it over time, because at first, like you said, at range is best. Close range, not so much.
Yep.
But the ability to shoot off 1, 2, 3 volleys before having to reload it helps out a lot, because I'm a missile user. I'll have different weapon synergy, so the reload times are different, the payloads are different.
Yep.
The soup, I like how you can shoot it 3 times, so I'll shoot it 1 time, fire off another much more powerful missile that'll keep them moving, and then have my MLT4 firing off, then shoot off another soup missile, have my other one reloading, fire off one more MLT4, and then fire the soup missile again before it starts to reload. More powerful missiles already back. Like that, just having the 3 volleys that's awesome.
Oh yeah.
For me, as a person that likes missiles, like having 3 in the chamber before you have to reload, like I'm thankful for that. It
really
gives
cool.
me time. It's really cool, and it's a really strong missile. I love those missiles. If you're heavyweight, mid-rate, keeping at range, and then playing close to as well, those missiles, yeah, they will have your back. I like those missiles a lot.
I would agree. I would agree. So yeah.
Do you have any experience with them? Or
I have used them quite a bit. They kind of blend. I haven't used them in a while, but I used to play with them quite a bit. And I don't know. It's like my opinions on them aren't too strong in either way. I think it's just kind of good. I would guess more or less I feel towards them as mid, because it's like they're good. They're very fine. I wouldn't say they're like insane. They're just kind of like an alternative to 10 cell, I find most of the time. Although more likely than not, I've drifted away from using them and used like 6 cell or 10 cell or duo over them, because I feel like all those are kind of just better alternatives. But of course, this does have its unique trait of being able to fire multiple times and stuff like that. But it is heavier. I don't see myself fitting it in on a lot of optimal frames. Yeah, I don't really see it as like an optimal missile for a lot of things, like a lot of optimal kite setups or a lot of optimal close range rush down. I never really see this landing on any of those. There's always something better, but it's not a bad choice. You can totally use this for style points or just, you know, uniqueness, and it can work. It's perfectly fine.
100%. Yeah,
So I'd
agree with that.
I would kind of just like, yeah, put it in mid. That's my feelings. What are yours?
I agree. I agree with mid too as well. Because like you just said, I haven't dabbled with anything outside of this one. Whenever it comes to complementing a different missile style for where I have it at right now. But I think, like how you just said, I wonder if there are other choices out there that might complement what I already have that they do, but better or with less energy. You know what I mean? So I agree with you. I'm gonna look into that myself, but I do.
Like,
so
these
far,
have higher reload
really
time by a couple of seconds than the 10 cell. They're heavier than 10 cell, more EN costly, and yeah, but of course you can shoot it multiple times, so it has that different advantage. It's kind of like a 10 cell with different trades-offs, but again, I don't see myself rocking them on an optimal set for certain categories. They're kind of like a unique pick. You don't really choose them over something usually, but they're not a bad alternative either. Just kind of there. They're kind of mid. They're cool. They're good. Nothing crazy.
They're cool.
Like good, good compared to what is good, but they're still fine.
Yeah.
They're fine. All right, next.
I gotta look back into it. Yeah.
For sure. All right, next we have a very interesting one, a very unique boy. One I fell in love with a long while ago, back when it was like broken. I still like it now, but yeah, a good thing it's not as broken as it once was. Its proximity det or AoE range was insane. Like I tweaked it down, thank you. But we have the Javelin Beta, the detonating missile launcher, which is crazy.
My boy.
My boy. Yeah, I love this. I used to run this on melee sets a lot. It was just so good.
It's disgusting.
It's really great. The tracking is great. The impact is great. The damage is fine. The reload isn't insane for what you get. Because of course it has a 4-second reload time, but a 2-second lock on. So, you know, overall it's like 6 seconds, but like it's worth it. The tracking is great. The impact is great. It is just peak. Now, it's not super good at close range. It's very hit or miss. Sometimes it will work. Sometimes it's just not that great. You have to play around with it a little more. But at medium range, it's pretty much always going to hit. At long range, no, because it only reaches to a certain point. But
200 to 200 or 350 to 350 range, I think it was called. I always go with 200. I always remember not within 200 meters. If somebody has one, I always say to myself, as soon as I remember, everyone, say with me, not within 200 meters.
Absolutely.
Say that without 200 meters.
Yep.
And same with if you have one, remember, as long as they are within 200 meters, you're going to get a hit, or you're going to get a better chance of hit.
Absolutely.
Okay. I have to, again, so the MLT-4 hand cell missile, the split missile, and then the Javelin Beta are the key missiles I've used. Again, both seasons from 2 different platforms, 100%. I've grown so accustomed to this particular missile. It
Hmm.
can sneak behind cover whenever your opponent's obviously trying to chase around buildings and all.
Yep.
If it's on your left shoulder, chase him to the right and fire the missile.
Yep.
If they're sneaking, and then if you can scan, like keep a scan on, and if you get like right above where you can get that missile to go curve right above and around the top of the building, you can catch people really nasty. This missile is wonderful.
Yep.
Again, the trajectory of the line where it's exploding, the actual missile itself, if it hits, it
True.
can cause a lot of stagger damage. It can solidify stagger damage. It can be a great punishing tool. Like I've had solidified wins off of this weapon. Like yeah, I love this missile because of its uniqueness, its power, its
Mm.
capabilities, its ease of use. This is definitely a good missile. So, but one last thing to keep in mind too is that it does alert your opponent whenever you shoot it. You'll hear beep beep.
True. True.
Anytime you hear that, yep, just know that that missile's coming in, and man, sometimes that's not enough. That's not enough.
Very facts.
It's not enough.
Yeah, there's very little downsides to this thing. Sure, it's a little heavier and a little more EN balanced in terms of, versus other alternative, cheaper solutions or alternatives. But like, oh man, its upsides are so worth it, man. Because like, playing its counterplay is either just don't be in the range, assault boost constantly passing around it so it has no time to catch up or hit you. By the time it detonates, you're out of the way. But like, then again, now you're moving for it and not for your enemy. So there's value no matter what. Its impact is so nice and complements into pretty much any build. Or you're a kite. It's always nice to have impact on the enemy. So by the time once they finally get to you, you stagger them with whatever else you have. Oh, you're close quarters combat. Oh, they're coming in at you. They get hit by the javelin. Now they're up against you, and your whole goal is the impact war, and now you've already won it essentially. Like it's so good in so many case scenarios. It's like the best all-rounder missile there could be in terms of just like getting impact no matter what, and it
This,
constantly
yeah,
causes pressure. It's just one projectile, yet it causes so much pressure that
so
it's
much
just so
harm.
nice. And you pair with any other missile, then you're immediately golden. You rock a 4-cell
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a 6-cell with one of these, and you're rocking. You're good, man. It's gonna be solid.
I love that damn fight.
So, I
Man,
mean, I'm having a hard time not putting an S. I'm trying to find reasons to, like, say it's not just an S. But, like, I don't know. It's just kind of insane.
this one particular missile, I would say this does fall high into the S or A, and the reason
Mm-hmm.
why I say, like, if you're trying to make distance, and like let's say altitude makes distance, falling backwards while your opponent's also falling back, suddenly makes distance.
Yep.
Like there's a lot of application moments I've used this in, and it works so well. Going around
Yep.
cover has been my golden ticket.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
man,
bet.
I love it. Especially whenever it's
Oh,
to the right. Especially if I can get that missile moving to the right. Man, as soon as you get that left cover, I'll shoot that missile right. Go
yep.
far left. That thing, you go right. That missile's coming left. Then yes,
Cancer. Yeah. It's great.
that exactly. That is a great. That is one of the best missiles, in my opinion, in this whole game. Is the Javelin Beta.
Hell yeah. I would absolutely say S. Maybe we'll think differently by the time we get to see what else lands in here, but like for now, yeah, I don't see any reason for it to not be S. It's just so nice.
So good.
All right, now we have another interesting, unique missile, the Terreno.
This one is interesting to me too as well. I don't use it too much. I do need to pick it up more because I feel like it's the same. This falls on the same criteria of the Javelin Beta, partly for me for its effectiveness, but it's very straightforward. What's cool about this that I've noticed is that you don't need to fully lock this on to actually get it to hit and fire. Consider it like a rocket
Mm-hmm.
from the old school Armored Core games. If you suddenly stagger your opponent from a distance,
Oh yeah, doesn't need to
and
lock on.
it's
Just
not fully
projectile.
locked on,
Boom,
just
boom.
shoot it. Yeah.
That's
um,
great. And that's
if your
good because
opponent
its
is
lock on
not
is pretty hefty. A 4-second reload and a 4-second load lock on, so 8 second of downtime.
yeah,
If you don't have a good FCS, like, oh, that's rough, man.
it is rough.
And it's fairly
It's super
dodgeable
rough.
unless the desync is pretty bad. If the desync is not great, you're gonna get hit by a lot and it's gonna suck. But outside of that, it's not the hardest thing to dodge. Closer ranges, it gets harder, but well, closer range it gets harder. Medium range, it's fine, very easy to dodge. It's quick, but like if you dodge at the right time, And again, it notifies you when it's going to get fired. It's not, and it staggers the enemy when they shoot it too. So it's like, it's not hard to play around. If it hits, there's a lot of impact. It's like the, I don't know, it's kind of just like the worst javelin kind of, because both their thing is they give a lot of impact, and that's their big thing. But like, yeah, you need to, I don't know, the Torino is like, you need to have more time to lock on, which is always less uptime, which is always not great. But you do, of course, have the upside of you can shoot it when the enemy's staggered and it will hit. The same thing could be said for the Javelin beta or any missile, although, of course, they have, you know, it takes a while for them all to hit and travel, so it's less guaranteed than just shooting the fast Torino shot. But yeah, I don't know. I've always kind of struggled with the Torino because it's like, I think it's cool, but it's just, I always choose, it's kind of like the soup. It's cool, but I always choose something over it because it's just like, I've seen it work very effectively in only like one build class, and that's like Lamb Rat or Chair Rat, where you just have it as one of them just on your shoulder, and you have other ranged weapons, usually missiles and like nebula, and you're just running around. You're running away constantly. You're ratting away because it's very good against anti-rushdown. Someone comes in, you just fucking, oh, they're closing in. Shoot them with 2 of these, boom. Because chances are you're already ratting them with missiles, so their impact is already high. They get close, just sick them with those, and then oh, now they're staggered.
Yeah,
and it does
dude.
a lot of good. Direct hit adjustment on it is very, very sweet. It's a good stagger punish at range.
That's the where this particular missile falls short, is the fact that it'll stance you out if you have bipedal or anything like other than
Tank and
treads.
Tetra.
Yeah, tank and Tetra. There you go. Unless you have one of those, like you can't keep moving. It'll stance you. If you're out of that floating orientation for your Tetra, it will stop you midair, which is also throwing it out there. You can use that to let your generator regenerate while you're still in the sky. I've done that using charged weapon.
Yeah, any stance weapon while midair. Yeah. That's always nice.
Using Torino while in midair, while they are descending or they're coming in close or quick. If you fire real quick while you're still waiting for your energy to come back, you can keep yourself sustained in air with that particular weapon and then stay right back in the air. So that's where the plus side comes into that. Anything outside of those leg types, though, you're going to be dancing yourself, leaving yourself exposed. You're going to have the possibility of alerting your opponent, then being able to move out of the way of the trajectory versus the beta. You're moving, though it alerts them. They really don't know where it may be coming from, depending on where they're looking to as well. Because if they're not looking at you and you're within range, you suddenly now don't know where this little threat's coming from.
Yeah, you need to move a lot more to dodge Javelin than a Torino. Torino, dodge once, you're good. You're chilling. But Javelin, it's like, oh, it's out here now. I need to act fast. It's like acting homing missile, except for it's fast now, and I need to act about it really quickly. And I can't loop it, because if I loop it, the AoE is just going to get me anyway, so it doesn't matter. So I need to think about it a little more. So yeah, I think staggering yourself or stancing yourself with a Torino on any leg outside of Tank and Tetra is ultimately what really guts this. If you didn't stagger yourself, I would rate it a whole lot higher. But since it does...
Oh, dude, if you get cool while shooting it, cool. Oh my god.
It'd be cool, but it'd be crazy.
In there.
So it's only really good on rats, or chair rats, tank rats, and lamb rats is where it's really nice. Everything else, not so great. So I would kind of, I guess, leave it in mid again, because like normally I would say bad, but because it's very effective on those type of builds, and those type of builds are naturally very good, because just ratting on a chair and ratting on lamb is just, it's good. There's only so many things you can really do to, even pure rushdowns, which are meant to be the direct counter, can struggle a lot against a good chair or a good lamb. So it's like, what chance do other lesser tier builds have? So it's like, yeah, it's rough, and this helps them out. It's not their number one pick from what I've seen, but I've seen on them enough where it's like considerable as a very close alternative loadout, or in the loadout rotation. So I would say mid overall.
I do know a few of the S rankers back over on Xbox and some other people too as well that utilize that weapon on those setups, like you're saying. They make very false fire. It's definitely a thing to use. They like act like you're gonna fire something.
Yeah, and then
cut it.
Cancel
so
it.
They, and that's how you, So it works. It works well.
Yeah, feint the Torino to actually shooting it. It was crazy.
It's crazy work.
Yeah, I love feinting. It's big. All right, next up, we have the single cell of the plasma, the forward-facing plasma missile.
VP missiles. These. So I've grown very fond of these thanks to some of the guys back on the Facebook group page. Barry's one of the guys he used this one and the vertical VP missiles on a particular what they would call blade rack. I call them missile crawlers. I use it differently than
Mhm.
what people use it for, but um, these missiles they can cause some real problems for you, dude. If the AOE on these missiles, they don't seem like much when you're first starting off the battle, but whenever you're starting to get chipped down and your health is getting pretty low, and then you'll
Mhm.
start to realize like these missiles are doing some work after some time.
Yep.
These missiles, yeah, the AOE on these things they're pretty reliable.
Yeah.
If
I
you
would
want a
say they
missile,
are
awesome,
the
it's
most guaranteed to hit missiles out of any of them in the entire game, I would say, because
they're
of their
hard
AOE,
to
their speed,
dodge.
and especially these, the 3 cell or the, or you say V 03 PM, which I would
Yeah,
call them like single. Um, it's only a 0.3 second lock on time with a 4 second reload. So like these are up constantly and they're almost guaranteed to hit unless you're on like a ceiling map, like the hot box, where they could go up and get hit on something and then they don't do anything. But like most of the time, these are gonna hit at least a little bit. And that little bit of scratch just constantly hitting no matter what almost is huge.
damage is damage. Yeah, dude. This thing is like it's rough. The only guaranteed way, in my opinion, you're gonna get away from the damage is through cover.
Yep. Cover's
Because trying to
nice.
work around
Moving
it, like
very
you,
quick. Yeah.
yeah, fast, effective, AOE damage. Even
Mhm.
if you're caught in it through punish, it causes a lot of damage. If you get nicked by it, it causes damage.
Yep.
That's what you're looking for a good weapon. This weapon's
Mhm.
high level because it causes a lot of problems. If you're a kite, you can stay back and then keep trailing backwards and let these missiles do work as they're chasing after you. Because I have to work really hard to not get hit by the missile
Oh, for sure.
and then still go after you. So yeah, no, dude, I've had some trouble with people that use these missiles, and I've given people trouble using these missiles too because I'm aware, yeah, they're a high chance of causing damage no matter when they're fired. If they don't have any cover, this is a really good weapon. This is a very good set of missile right here.
Yeah, and I would say I would rank both the single cell and its double cell together because they're, again, effectively the same thing, just with the standard
Mhm.
drawback of a one's heavier and slower, but more damage. It's essentially the same thing. They both act the exact same.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I guess with all that said, I'd be happy with them in like B. They're good weapons.
They are good weapons. I put them in B. Yeah.
They're just super reliable.
This
Like they're maybe the most reliable just for pure chip, just standard. What you think of just like slapping on a missile on a build, these just do it. They just, you fire them out, you don't
these
think
will
about it.
do it.
You don't have to think about them at all. You just shoot them when they're up, and that's it.
Yeah, seriously. These
Oh,
was
they're up, shoot. Oh, they're up,
they
shoot.
cost
You don't think about
shoot.
anything else. They do their thing passively. The most passive
The
damage you
one
might get.
Yeah, they again like for any style of play that you may be doing, like these are very good missiles all around. That's gonna again, these have a huge like chance of causing damage, getting a hit, finishing the fight, start causing some issues or whatever for your opponent. You're gonna want these. If I tell people very much so, if you want to use some type of missile that's gonna cause like a definite harm,
Mm-hmm.
these ones.
Absolutely.
The ones right after them, the larger ones.
Yeah.
I know of one person that uses them. Dude, I will say this: whenever you're flying at certain trajectories and they float a certain way, either using them as an actual punish when your opponent is staggered
Oh, yeah.
before actually hitting a punish with this. Oh God,
That's
it's
pretty
the
nice.
damage is high. Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
So yeah, it's very good. It's good stuff.
Yep. All right, last for the vertical and plasma category, we have the vertical plasma, which are essentially every upside of those other vertical missiles we just discussed, except for now they're vertical. And because they're vertical and they're AoE, they actually work as good vertical, meaning once they're up,
Yes.
you have to like have it in your mind, have a good game sense to know when they're going to come down and hit you, because you can't waste time
Yeah.
looking up to find them. You're never going to look up to see them. You have to guesstimate and know when they're going to hit and try to dodge out of the way or assault boost past them, because outside of that, they're going to hit, just like the other ones. The other ones are a little more dodgeable, at least most of them. You'll probably get chipped a little bit by the last missile's AoE, but like these, it's so hard because like you just know they're going to come down and a whole AoE is going to be doing damage. You just got to get out of the way and hopefully not get, blast it. They're good stagger
Yeah,
punishes.
dude.
They're good. They're just good, man.
So I've used this one in particular. Again, Barry, shout out to Barry for doing this. His blade rat using these
Hell yeah.
missiles and the single cell VP missiles.
Hmm.
The vertical ones, I've used it whenever I'm using the laser blade, the one the spinning
Yeah.
carousel style.
Hmm.
So whenever I'm going around the opponent, I'm in free soft lock. I'll usually fire those missiles above when I know I'm about to stagger the opponent with
Yeah,
the
yeah.
melee hit.
Hmm.
And as soon as I go for the hit, whenever the first one hits, it staggers them. When I'm going for the second one, it does the damage.
Yep.
But then the vertical missiles will drop shortly afterwards and cause
Yep.
more harm and damage.
Oh,
And
for
then
sure.
actually has finished the fight before. So
Oh, I
I've
don't
made that
doubt it.
a
Yeah.
finishing technique. It's great.
Yeah. Honestly,
um,
they're amazing. And much like I was saying with Terrano and stuff like that, these are super popular to be seen on chair and lamb rats because they're great at any range, and they're passive, and they're just kind of like the best of the plasma missile class. They're just so goddamn good. I see no reason to not. I might even put them in S, but like A is for sure. S is like maybe.
for this one, I'm going to say A, and the biggest reason only why is because the easiest way I've learned to avoid these missiles
Mhm.
is through aerial combat.
True enough. Yeah.
For me, I've usually stood in the air, and if I know that they have these weapons, I will
Mhm.
stay in the air as much as I possibly can to alleviate the amount of
That is
damage
true.
I take.
Yeah, because they're AoE
Because the
based, so there's
AoE,
nothing for them to hit
yeah,
and detonate off of outside of you yourself. Because they do have kind of like a proxy like they'll detonate kind of over you, but at the same time they'll also hit the ground and detonate on you. So if you're airborne, you might get hit by a couple, and the others just pass you by. So it's like, yeah, I can see airborne being a pretty viable way to kind of get rid of them. Of course, also being naturally pretty quick / assault boosting gets you out of the harm's way. So it has a very
yep.
simple counterplay, but it's very costly if you want to go down the it's up assault boost, because now I do have
You
to keep
have
assault
to.
boosting while they're coming down so that I completely get past them. But like, yeah, that's still
That's
quite a
my trick.
sacrifice, or can be. If you're rushed down,
That
it
is
doesn't matter either way. You're going to be rushing anyway. But still, yeah. So I think yeah, A makes sense. A does make sense. They're
it's
good. They're not like, oh my god, it's crazy, but like they're
but
very
they're
good.
so effective. They're very effective. The ones I have the most trouble with is the VP03, the first ones we talked about. Those are the ones I have
Their
the
uptime is
most
just
trouble
insane.
with.
Just always up.
Yeah, dude.
They're always doing
But
something.
super great missiles, guys. Please,
Yep.
more.
We need more purple rain, baby. More. Alright, next up we have the one and only, unfortunately, I thought it would have been cool to have like Chordal drones like the Ibis, but we have
that
Chordal
would be
missile.
cool.
Alright, neato. More Chordal weapons, man. Oh yeah, we have the one and only Chordal missile, the NGI-006, the nuclear bomb, as it were. The only missile outside of like the laser drones that has a charge up mode. That in fact it packs it a lot. You pretty much never not want to shoot with the charge. The charge adds all the projectiles, more damage. It's pretty sick. Very unique.
Yeah,
A
dude.
missile that I don't see a lot outside of on lamb kites. Like I only ever see them on lamb kites, maybe once in a blue moon. But for the most part, yeah, I don't know. I don't see them a lot because again, they're quite heavy. They're very EN costly. They take a long time to charge up. Their reload is 8 seconds. Their lock-on time is 5 seconds, about 4.9. And you also then have to charge it. So it's 3 things you have to worry about in terms of the uptime. When they land, they are indeed a nuclear bomb. But anytime I'm facing them, just like the acting home missile, I kind of treat them as like the worst acting missile. Because it's the same process of dodging where you get close to it intentionally and you wrap around it, and now it's just going to circle really slowly and probably hit the ground and detonate, or hit something and detonate, or just detonate over time because it's taking so long to circle back around to you. And then yeah, I don't know, it's just super easy to play against. When it hits, it's kind of like a vertical missile. The more I think about it, the more I'm saying this, because like when it hits, and it's cool pressure. But it's also just, I don't know, I find it's very easy to play against, and it's so heavy it's going to keep you in a not very quick manner unless you're on a chair or a lamb. What do you think, though?
I was gonna ask you, like, how much trouble have you had with these?
Not very
Actually,
much,
a lot of,
unfortunately.
I think I have used these ones, but a lot of the time, whenever they do fire the missile, they'll be far from where they fired it initially. That I don't notice it until I suddenly hear it, And then I'm like, oh
It is
wait,
very loud, very distinctive.
yeah. So fun fact,
The
apparently the
crying of the
sound you're
coral.
hearing are, yeah,
Yeah, it's the
it,
coral crying out.
it,
Yeah.
yeah. For nobody that doesn't know, the sound you're hearing is the coral, the souls of the coral basically
Mm-hmm.
screaming and crying out whenever they're being fired out and stuff like that. That's the sound.
Yep.
Um, I have trouble with these weapons. I do have trouble with them because again, I'm very aerial. Like the guys will fire it from one area and I'm following them and I didn't notice it until it's way too late. And then I start hearing it and I'm like, okay, hold on a second. I gotta figure out my senses here. But I've gotten caught off guard a couple times trying to get away from coral missiles, trying to like alleviate the pressure
Mm-hmm.
while trying to stay on target and then getting hit by other things on top of like trying to dodge those missiles.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I've had a different experiences with it. I have no
Mm-hmm.
trouble with it. For me, I also use them as well, but I use them as like a setup where like I'm waiting for my opponent to get exhausted with energy. I'm waiting for them to get almost to a stagger, and I know I'm gonna get it. And
Mm-hmm.
then I'll fire them, and while they're running away from those, I'll zone them in and then cause them to get staggered while they're preoccupied while running from Red Death over here, the nuclear explosion that's about to
Yeah.
happen. So me, I have a hard time with it. I actually do have hard work with everybody listening to this and looking hard. We're gonna get him with this.
Usually, the only times I've ever struggled against it is when I'm too much like, oh, I don't need to worry about it. When I ignore it too much. Usually I see it, I'm like, all right, I'll keep it in the back of my mind, or I'll just easily go around it quickly to get rid of it. Like, just go and extinguish it before it becomes a problem. Only when I'm just like completely ignoring it and I'm just reckless and then I get staggered and then it hits me when I'm staggered. That's when I'm like, oh shit. But it never really hits me outside of stagger, I find. Because usually either, again, I'll go extinguish it, or I'm just playing a build where I'm just too fast for it to hit, because I'm just trying to rush into your face and it doesn't matter. I will say, though, it has some pretty interesting techniques, or kind of like techs, I suppose, in where if you use it really close range, it's pretty neat, because you just shoot him and immediately it's there, and oh god, it's going to detonate and just explode instantly, damaging the target. Another thing you can actually do with it, which a chatter told me once when I was streaming and playing around with it, was your own assault armor can detonate it. So if you shoot them out and then assault armor, it detonates it. So you could stagger an enemy or run and kick them, shoot the missiles, both of them, like have two on one shoulder, just shoot them, charge or otherwise, and then assault armor. And now you paired on the kick, assault, and 2 nuclear missiles right on them. And it's just, it may be instant deletion, I'm not sure. I've even considered maybe rocking like a pulse blade Harris. So you pulse blade into Harris, now they're staggered. Then you shoot both missiles, and then you assault armor to maybe instant delete them. But I never tried it. I've always thought it'd be cool, but I never tried it.
I'm gonna keep this in mind actually moving forward.
I did not know our own assault armor could detonate our missiles. It might work with all missiles, it might just work with them, but the fact that it purely detonates them and doesn't destroy them, just makes them explode, is pretty sick.
That is pretty sick. I wasn't aware. I do know the assault armor, if you time it just right, it will take care of incoming armor.
Yeah.
So I know I've used it a couple times. It will alleviate your stagger, by the way, because that's the biggest thing I'm like hoping it'll do whenever I do that. I suddenly just evaporate all the bullets coming out my way. But also, all I need is one thing to hit me and I'm staggered.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's helpful.
The amount of people I've seen use assault armor as like PA when they're staggered at range is it's concerning. It's very concerning, because they're like, I'm an assault armor, even though the enemy's nowhere near me, but I'm close to stagger, and they do it, and then they get staggered out of it. They're like, what happened? Like, yeah. It will pause your stagger meter, but once that AoE is out and you're done, you're standing still, and the stagger is still built up. It ain't PA. It's not going to put the stagger meter back to 0. It's rough. We need more people, more young pilots need to be aware of this and stop falling to it. Dear God. It's unfortunate. But yeah, for the coral missile ranking though, it's like, what do you think? Where would you put it in your experience?
For my experience in application, it would fall under S for me. But the only reason why is I've seen of how effective it is whenever it comes to it can obliterate an enemy. Or it can really, like, again, the little tendrils itself can cause a stagger, and then the rest of them follow up, and then the final nuke kind of follows up while you're also initiating your own personal punish from yourself. I've seen it used in ways where this missile will finish a fight if it's calculated properly. It's one of those weapon combinations where you can, if you have this particular missile set with something, even if it's not that heavily devastating, but it staggers your opponent so it can land. This is one of those things you got to be fearful of. if you got hit by it.
Very
Same,
true, very true.
complementary to my opinion. So like if you would put a VE20B to a pulse blade or the Moonlight laser blade and charging a hit, it will evaporate. And things that can evaporate health to me are things I would put at a higher level. But again, that comes with experience from people that understand the concept of how to make those things happen. So it's S in the right hands, but without the skill to complement it, again, it only falls under S under the right hands and all. A javelin beta, it does it on its own. A coral missile, it really depends on the person. Like that piece of information you just told me, that's key. That's a big deal. I still got to learn this missile, but yeah,
That's
no,
neat.
I would say high between A and B. I would say between A and B without the skill paired, A and B.
I see. I would have gone pretty much down to C, but I'll settle for like in between. We'll settle B. B sounds fine because I mean it's a good weapon. I find it's more C in my experience, but again, maybe I just haven't found enough people that really know how to use it and just treat it like a willy-nilly missile. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll definitely I would definitely be more than happy to throw you a few of the builds I've come to learn with because of these guys on PlayStation. But yeah, dude, like a lot of core missile usage is definitely on PlayStation. They take great advantage of that, which is good.
That's big.
They're challenging.
Oh hell yeah, that's awesome.
By the way, shout out to everybody out there that we've all learned from both Xbox, PlayStation, PC. You guys keep doing what you're doing. Bring the heat, bring the pain for them all.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, next up we have the laser drones, which was I was considering for either the shoulder list or this one, but since they're technically in the game categorized as a missile, and they lock on, I figured, yeah, it's a missile more than a shoulder weapon. So, what do you think of the laser drone?
These ones are actually pretty complimentary. Let me see. I haven't
another missile that charges up.
experience.
This and the coral missile are the
Yeah.
only ones that actually have a charge mode, I will say. Just neat.
This one, you know what? I didn't think about that, but this was kind of fall under like like almost like a missile kind of thing. This one also fall under kind of missile kind of thing. I had fought against some people using, I think it was a VP missiles with this, and God, it was just so much pressure. The VP missiles, the VP 303, like you said, they're always gonna hit. But these ones, it's like constantly, you have to just having the constant movement. It's, in my opinion, layered pressure is what it is. These things are freaking great. Either charged or not. If it's not charged, they fire quicker. And if you're not prepared or they're throwing them out there whenever they're obviously watching your EN suddenly like is not there anymore, you're going to have to keep moving no matter what.
Also, the charge time is only 0.8 seconds, so it's really never a reason not to charge them as well. So, always
that part too as well.
It's so low. I don't even really know why they even have a charge mode because it's an instant anyway. So, like, it might as well not even have one. But
yeah,
either way, you always want to charge them when you throw them out because you might as well.
I think more people should take into consideration of using these weapons because I have seen people use it from before in the past and they stopped using it recently. Somebody used it and constantly charged it like you were saying, and I got hit by it one time and I was like, I took great notice of whenever I got hit by it, and I said, I cannot be hit by that again. I cannot be hit by that again. And these things are a really good weapon. I don't use them often enough. I have used them in the past. What I will say is if you can keep your opponent somewhat centered where these weapons don't need to move often, is where you're going to get the best effect of it. So if you can zone your enemy in like a corner of the map, if you can stay centered around them somehow, like those things are really good. And I need to pick them up more, pairing them with missiles and all, because like again, layering your pressure with stuff like that, missiles homing in left and right, different trajectories, you're causing a lot of attention to be spread out. So your enemy's going to have a hard time trying to pay attention to what's going on, especially with a charge attack like that. That thing's awesome. So yeah, no, I haven't used them. I have them used against me. I always take great notice of their effectiveness.
Yeah.
So yeah, these are really fast. But what about you? What do you have experience going against them or using them?
Yeah, I do. Going against, it's kind of the coral drone or the coral missile. I don't really notice it a whole lot. Again, probably because my default builds I usually play are very quick close quarters builds, melee punishes or whatever, or rush down. So I usually don't notice them by the time I already do what I need to do and get it done. But I think I
Mhm.
would maybe notice them more if they had more time to shine against my builds. Say I had a kite or just a less aggressive medium or something like that. A slower burn build, but usually I play very fast, get it done, close range, rush down. So I guess I kind of naturally play the kind of counter. I have seen these become very popular on Zim Shield, where you have 2 Zims of shield and then this, because these do a lot of nice overall damage / direct hit. They're good stagger punishes or stagger punish assists. Every missile is, but these especially, because they do a lot of damage, but it does require the enemy to be slow or stationary. So if they're stationary during a stagger, it's gonna, oh my god, the damage will rack up. Also, seeing the stats now, I see why there's a difference between charge and not charge. The charge attack does more damage, less impact, while the normal attack does less damage but more impact. So it's kind of, you choose what you want to go with based on whether you charge it or not. You want more impact, you want more damage, that kind of thing. So charge it for a stagger punish, use it naturally uncharged for more impact passive buildup. So I think, yeah, I think they're fine. I wouldn't say they're anything like insane. I'm not sure I would put them in S or A. Maybe S or A, depending on your setup, like a Zim Shield. Again, I just see them with Zim Shield so much. Probably because they're a light alternative to a good stagger punish when you don't have access to a proper stagger punish, because again, you're Zim Shield. But for any other build, just a passive missile or a good missile to be paired with other stuff, I don't see it being huge. But then again, it plays more into setups I don't usually play. And I usually counter, so I don't really have probably the best mindset of ranking this appropriately in terms of action capabilities. I just have to go off stats and kind of feel and like how I fought against it. Fighting against it, I don't feel it's very impressive. Fighting with it, I see it being a very cool assist weapon, but nothing insane. I'm not sure I would put it in the same vein as a javelin or the vertical plasma, or like as flexible as a 6-cell. I think it's more in line with something like a Aurora or anything else really in the B tier. So I'm more leaning towards B tier. What rank are you leaning towards? Or tier?
I would say more towards, since I don't have much experience with it, I lean towards D, but I say B because of its usage capabilities. That's why that I'm not familiar with it, but I have seen it used from before. I know it was popular with the Zim Shield from before in the past. It was used in competitive play from before also in the earlier seasons. So I think, yeah, I agree with you on B actually. It's good.
Yeah,
I think
lower-ish end of B or just general B. I don't really have these any type of like row in particular, just kind of B, just as a flat category. You can make up your own mind of which ones are higher and lower, but just naturally B. Probably lower end of B if I had to rank them like that, but yeah, B sounds fine.
B is definitely in there, yeah.
Hell yeah. Alright, now we're done with the shoulder missiles. We have 3 weapons left, I believe. Yep. Or no, 4 technically, because we have the 4 handheld missiles. Used to be 3, but then they added the pulse. Alright, so now we have what I can assume is your baby. Your number 1 lass.
My baby.
We got what I call the box missile. The 4-cell handheld. The box missile. So what do you think?
Before I begin, I was going to say, I cannot wait the day that they have all the parts that my AC has. I'm going to build it, and I cannot wait.
Oh, for sure. That'd be
I'm
sick,
so glad. The MLT4 hand missile. Okay, so the reason why I fell in love with this whole Hawk setup was because of Crab Knight. And all it had was shield, dude. Yeah, dude. MLT4 Javelin Beta was all it really had weapon wise, and the hammer for attacking.
And then the shield. Yep.
Melee. And the shield. I use it because somebody whooped the whole lobby with us one time. What the heck? The first time I've ever seen a meta step in and like really like it, the whole room was whooped. For a whole hours we were in there, nobody could beat it. And I was like, how? All it does is has this. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
So I tried to play with it, and I played with it, and I made Hawks, and I kept playing with Hawks. MLT4 hand missile is by far one of the most underrated hand missiles in my opinion. It does great amount of damage, great amount of stagger, good amount of whenever damage for punishment. Its ease of use is good. Its reload time is there. You can use it while in the air, while on the ground, rushing, retreating. It's a really, really great weapon, and it's just again a lot of great damage in it too as well.
Hmm.
It's really, really awesome. I love that weapon.
Yeah, it is amazing. I've seen it on LCB tank. I see it on almost every kite. Um, or not kite, rat is what I mean more, but and missile kites for the most part. Well, usually more rats, but yeah, this thing is insane. It's probably the best of the handheld class, or at least the most versatile. It's basically the four cell, but on your hand. I mean, it is the four cell in your hand. Fires the exact same. It behaves the same. Um, I used to think it would be cool to have these on your back instead of actual missiles, but then I learned that weapons, primary hand weapons in the back bay reload slower, like half as slow. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so you don't want to have primary, you don't want to treat these handheld missiles like back missiles and put them on your back because they're going to reload a lot slower, making them just not as effective. You might as well just have actual back missiles at that rate. Um, you can, of course, still do it, but it's hardly worth it. But yeah, no, I've seen this on the LCB tank. Lots of rats, even kites. Of course, it's like probably it's oh, yeah, crab knights, any other knight form, mainly crab though, because you. But like yeah, I don't really know what to say bad about it other than like. Also, it's great on a setup in 3v3 application. You have two box
yeah.
missiles and two earshots on a medium weight with like SPD, and you just kind of hover and play assist or support in a 3v3, and it is insane. Constant missile pressure with your missiles and constant huge AoE with double earshot. It's so nice. It's so good in 3v3. Having one of those dudes on your team is amazing. It's so good. So yeah, this missile just has so many applications. It is so versatile. It's even more versatile than a 6 cell, I'd say, because again, it's a primary, so it can be put on your back. Not that it's the best to do it, but you can. And yeah, it's just so amazing.
It's a really good weapon. I very fond of this weapon. Again, all of Hawks, for anybody listening out there, is one build and never change a single thing. Well, I made some adjustments over time to make it more effective and to amplify it more. The core and the head is what ultimately I changed in the boosters.
Mhm.
But all around, like no, I've used the hand cell missile across like every last possible thing under the sun.
Yep.
This is a really good hand missile. I stand very strongly towards Javelin Beta, this MLT4 hand missile, the multi missile
Mhm.
for the shoulder. I stand very strongly by those missiles. Again, with time, attention, versatility, ease of use, and going against all of the meta under the sun, like these hand missiles did do a lot. I really want people to into consideration of using this one. But like you said, frontal missile, I've had it save my life. I had a rush down right in front of me and it had more hit, and I had those missiles on deck, and I just shot it right when he went to go hit with melee, and it killed him. And I was
Yeah.
like, my boy, I was
Hell
like,
yeah.
you saved my life. Like, so yeah, like I said, when you have those moments against opponents where these weapons really kind of shine, you're like, these are really crucial moments. So yeah, MLTM missile, top notch weapon, dude. Really, really good
Absolutely.
stuff.
I would say yeah, for the missile class and like kind of as an overall weapon for its purpose, it's pretty much S. Like it's just
Yeah,
so
I agree with
versatile.
that.
Has so many applications. It's just so good. It's very much like a javelin.
Teams, PvE,
Hmm.
PvP.
Yeah, you can
Yeah,
use this
dude. It's
tactically with like
really
assault boosting and stuff like that. You can use it just willy nilly whenever it's up. It's like yeah, it's just so good, man. You can think
with
about it, you get
Tempest,
a
it
lot.
gives
You
you
can
what?
just not think. It's just
Yeah,
good, man. Just good.
it's good. It gives you. It has a lot of leeway. It
Oh
has
yeah.
very forgiving weapon, and it's very supportive of the pilot.
Hmm.
So ease of use, very supportive of the pilot. Highly recommend, 100%. Whether you again rush down, flying away. I've had people use this one and the next one. You'll be tapping into with a
Yep.
multi-cell hand missile, both hand missiles and two LCDs on heavyweight, flying in the air. I didn't think anything of this guy, buddy. Man, that is the hardest battle. Like, again, PlayStation guys, they come in with some stuff like, what? How would you? And then you find out how. You find out real
Hell
quick
yeah.
how.
Hell yeah,
So
man.
yeah, again,
That's sick.
hands down, top notch missile.
Absolutely. Super big. Alright, now we have the handheld split missile. This
Do
one,
you have?
I kind of have some opinions on it because it's like, I don't know. It's good, obviously, because again, it's split, so it has this very uniqueness. I feel like this is more of your. If I'm running a kite or a rat and I want a handheld missile, this is what I run over the 4-cell. But because
Yeah,
it's kind
yeah.
of like, yeah, it's kind of like, the duo, or really it's split to MLT. It's the exact same thing. MLT is forward facing. Split isn't close range, but more all range, where the MLT is more close range
Yeah.
versus not all range. So I would say it's pretty much the exact same thing in terms of usability. It's just used for different things, kind of. Or it's like worse and better at opposite categories. But like everything
The
else
playstyle is
applies.
definitely different.
Yep.
The playstyle is definitely different with this one. I've grown into it thanks again to Barry because he did have this one on a particular build before, and I've grown accustomed to it. But it's not like how the MLT4 where you can frontal fire it and its trajectory is predictable.
Yep.
With this one, you have to wait for it to split open, and then you can kind of see where it's gonna guide itself afterwards. So you can't use it direct. You have to use it
I agree.
indirect. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
I get you. This is more of the complementary versus you can just kind of willy-nilly shoot out the 4-cell, and that can be your kind of opener, whatever, whenever, versus you want probably
yeah,
something else to be paired up with a split to make it really work. That's why it's much better on like a kite
100%.
set. You don't want to be rushing
Kite
in
set,
with
that
the
set.
split handheld necessarily.
If you rush in with a split, you are rushing around. Because this is what I will
I
do is
agree.
I
Yep.
will go rush. Yeah. So you'll
Curve
rush
around them.
past and around. So whenever they're like, "What the hell? Like this guy's running away from me," and they kind of go after you, and then all of a sudden, the missiles follow afterwards. The missiles are like an afterthought. Is how they work.
Yeah,
They don't
absolutely.
work directly. They're like, "What's that? Oh, we're going after this guy." It's like
Absolutely.
after action is what I'm gonna call it. It's this right, but yeah, it's not. I try to use them direct, but then when they split forward, they'll split around your opponent and then kind of try to trail behind and then just kind of go. But if you get them to chase you and then the split happens, that's when you got a good attack pattern right there. But
Yeah, absolutely.
my opponent's rushing after me and split around my opponent, and they go completely through everything, and then just not to get a single hit. I'm like, oh, okay, this is not going to work like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely different nature of attack, but it's good. Attack power is high. It's very good if you know how to use it well. But it's an awesome. That was another awesome one actually. I'm growing into it, but the MLT4 is my baby.
Absolutely. Off of instinct and that kind of stuff, I lean towards more A, but what do you think? Is it another S just like the 4-cell, or is it just kinda a little lesser?
Me, I would say I would say A because I'm only at A level using this, but I know this thing is a S level weapon, and the reason why I say that is because of some of the people using it now are just it's really good. It's a really powerful hand weapon. Because if you get hit with the other ones, you don't really feel it as much. This one, no, you feel it. It's regrettable.
Yeah,
Because I've
you
gotten
say that, it
caught.
makes me think of like how many times I've seen it on a lamb kite or a lamb rat, and or a chair. And
Yeah, dude.
For as powerful
And
as the 4-cell can be on a rushdown or a close range missile build or a close range build in general, this split can be as deadly on a ranged based build. They really are just the same weapon, but with different, firing modes, different range prefers, and characteristics exactly.
Yeah.
But like they're as effective as each other in their playstyle. So like I would say both are S.
Both are definitely S. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, we have 2 more. We have the good old Siege, which I used to love a lot. I still like it a lot, but the uptime kind of guts it more often than not for me, but I still have a soft spot for it, as it's one of the first weapons I really played around with a lot and fell in love with because of its playstyle and how unique it is, and the fact that it's kind of like the whole split, where you can shoot it and move, even assault boost at the same time, and because you're shooting them out constantly as a bunch of them stationary and then they go, you can essentially do a circle around your enemy, and you have stationarily put them in time, just waiting to be fired out as a surrounding swarm. It's really cool.
I definitely hear that. I actually have this particular weapon on the setup with the hand split missile, actually, surprisingly. This one, I like this one a lot because I've started to really learn how to use it in a unique fashion. I will fire it often whenever I'm descending and let my as my opponents are chasing after me or whatever like that. It's a last minute moment thing. I just suddenly just let these missiles out as I'm trailing down or like going
Yeah.
in for an attack, retreating, and then just cause choices to be made. I feel like this missile is great for causing causing your opponent to have to make a choice,
Yeah.
either coming after you, attacking, or trying to like take a moment to negate the missiles before coming in for an approach, giving you options to open up and start attacking them or reposition to a different area. But one unique thing I learned from someone else was this guy had a pulse blade, this type of missile, and he would fire all the missiles before he would assault boost and fire all the missiles. And
Mhm.
then right before reaching me, he would calm down for a second, wait for the missiles to kind of follow up, and then kick me. As soon as he kicked me, I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
thinking, yeah, and then all the missiles suddenly
Mhm.
just ran into me and then hit me with a melee weapon and then assault armor. I'm like, oh my God, what was that?
Yeah,
It was
absolutely.
disgusting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm like, I learned that because of this person, so I'll do that as well. I'll go ahead, I'll fire these missiles off and try to kick my opponent and just try to get all those missiles to land and then hit him with something else and follow up, causing a lot of harm and damage and all. But this missile can be really devastating if you know how to work with that. Yeah, this is a really good missile.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's just great, man. I don't know.
It's just all around
I would
great.
say its biggest downsides is its reload. Lock-on's fine, but 6-second reload means it's down for a little bit. Um, as well as I
You
find, I
have
can
to
dodge
really,
pretty much its entirety, usually by just assault. It's like a Balteus missile. If you just assault boost in a circle for a little bit, you've essentially got rid of them all. But that always won't work depending on how they're actually firing it out, especially if they fire out while doing other things. If they shoot out naturally, just assault boost around it, you'll be fine. But if they shoot it while doing things, that's when it becomes iffy. Um,
yeah.
so I'd say it's less because of its less uptime and that kind of like uh some of them I just let them hit and then others run around hit something else or yada yada. I would say it's not as like S, but I wouldn't be
No,
too dismissed with an A or B. What do you
I
think?
want to say, I say by itself, you really have to, for you to really make good use of this
True.
in the
Hmm.
way I've seen it be used, you like how you said you can easily just if you're not really using it like as a pressure some tool paired with other things that kind of distract your opponent to getting caught by these missiles or calling those missiles for
Yeah.
helping complement the missiles for making contact,
Hmm.
this is going to fall under B really quick. I
Yeah.
was like A or B is where it falls under for sure because without some type of knowledge or understanding good weapon synergies, we know what
Yeah.
it will take to make the weapon shine, but by itself, ultimately, no, it's Bobby.
Yeah, I say B. It's very similar to the Aurora, where if you know how to really make it work, it will work and it will do wonders. However,
Yeah,
naturally, it's not gonna. It's you need to think about it a lot more than anything else.
yeah. You're the one that has to make it work.
Yeah.
The weapon itself is not going to work on its own just because.
Yeah. Ultimately, it says separate a lot of these missiles in their tiers is how much you need to like really focus on to make them work. S, you really don't need to focus a lot, but if you do focus, oh my god. A,
It
you
gave
really don't need to focus a
really,
lot at all necessarily. Even focusing on them doesn't make
yeah,
them any like any more insane. B, they're good. If you focus on them a lot, they're real nice. But like if you don't,
yeah,
they can really be whatever. Um, and or are just like naturally good. And then D, obviously, yeah, they speak for themselves.
yeah. It's like questioning
The
those sometimes.
rest, the other ones. All right, last one we have the pulse missile launcher, one of the latest weapons in the game, if not the latest technically. Pulse missile launcher.
So this one's
Another
very
one I
interesting.
see, just like the other handheld missiles outside of imperative. I see this incredibly a lot on Lamb and Chair Rat. It is one of their top picks I've seen, or at least a considerable pick. Seen it a
I
little
know they
more
like
than
to
just
open
right now.
the charge shot. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because yeah,
they
exactly.
like to open up with a quick charge shot. Usually, as soon as I see that weapon somewhere on that person, All right, so as soon as I seen those little quick, little blue lines, I know
Yeah.
to dodge it.
Yep. Yeah,
Because
the charge attack
that,
is deadly so fast. Normal attack, you know, a couple of just projectiles that aren't going to do anything at close. They're going to miss at close range, but they're nice little pressures at long and medium. The charge is very scary at a medium range. Um,
yeah,
but yeah.
I've paired it with melee because you know how you can use melee, melee canceling to get in close.
Yep,
A
absolutely.
lot of the times I will melee cancel and quick boost past my opponent, and then I'll let off the charged P-fall at
Hmm.
range, so it's a guarantee to hit. At longer ranges, I will kind of let them off at like a regular shot or whatever.
Hmm.
Or sometimes I'll let off one regular shot and then charge the second one and then try to get in close to let those three and then assault boost so you know make space to get it. But um,
Yep.
should be rushing real close, let off a quick shot, damn,
Oh,
keep in and out.
oh God, you're breaking up a lot. Oh God.
Let
Sorry,
me
sorry.
see.
It's probably my internet is a storm above, so it's probably screwing me a little bit. A little lag spikeroo. Talk
No
again.
worries.
Oh, you're good now.
Can you hear me now? All right,
I think,
perfect.
yeah.
No, the P-fall, the whenever charging the shots and all, sometimes letting off a single shot and then charging the last shot that you have,
Hmm.
using melee canceling to getting close and then firing them off real quick and then assault boosting away to make space and allow it to recharge or sorry, reload. These things are they're interesting. They are interesting. I've grown more accustomed to it. I've got it on a build uh, for the with the laser dagger, and it's a very fun missile because again, you can use it close range, mid range, or even long range, depending on the situation at hand. You just need to be really paying attention to having it actually charged up, number one, because you need to listen to that sudden shift in sound and its orientation, because without it, it'll shoot off a regular shot and it'll miss up close. This is a really cool missile. I need to get more time with it. I know there's a couple of people that have made unique setups with them. I know we're starting to see more of them. I just played against Thrife actually in ranked, and he has it now
Nice.
on Silver Knight, which was interesting. So yeah, people have been using it. It's a very effective missile actually, and it's a
Hmm.
good complementary missile for stuff. If you got a good stagger build, rush downs and all, if you have a rat build or something, you just want missiles somehow on a hand missile some type. This is a good one. This is a good one. So it's a reliable missile in my opinion. I would say from what I've experienced so far.
Oh, hell yeah. Nice, yeah. Again, I haven't really played around it with it a whole lot myself. The most experience I know of it is seeing it effectively on chairs and lambs and just rats in general. But yeah, so with that knowledge anyway, I'm more in the realm of like A and B. What are you thinking?
I would say A because it is a little more forgiving. I would say if you
Hmm.
can get familiar with the charge time and all, and get comfortable with being in close and mid range with it,
Hmm.
you can do some work with it. It can do some work.
Yeah, good payoff if the playstyle fits, and overall forgiving even if you're using it as a willy-nilly missile launcher, essentially.
Yeah, I have seen people use it with dual stun pistols,
Hey,
having it
baby.
as a long range kind of weapon. I've seen people use it also with dual zim sometimes, having a shield on the left shoulder and then having that as a right hand weapon from afar, so they can still hit people from afar. And then if they get close, they still have the one left zim, shoot the missiles on charge shot, and then switch to their other zim and start doing damage and still be
Hmm.
able to block with the shield. So
Hell yeah.
it's a cool. I've seen some cool little setups here and there. It's a cool set of missile actually.
Hell yeah. Alright, I believe that is all the missiles. It's all the missiles, man. They've all been ranked. That's pretty much every weapon ranked, I believe, yeah. Outside of technically shields have been now ranked. Let's
That's
go.
awesome.
Big.
Yeah, I'm
Let's see.
again big fan of missiles, man. I was yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely good to get the opinions and the input of a missile specialist indeed. That was very cool.
Greatly. Yeah, dude. And then again, to anybody else out there, if anybody knows anything that we might not know or any
Hmm.
type of big techniques, like I'm always open to hear it. I'm always paying attention to people that have unique little missile setups and all, because it's cool, man. It's very cool.
Absolutely.
It's very cool.
Absolutely, absolutely. If anyone has any differing opinions or extra tips of knowledge that you think may impact this tier list, or just, you know, cool tidbits in general, knowledge to be shared, definitely let us know in the comments below and all that good stuff, or generate conversation wherever. It's very much encouraged.
Always welcome. The knowledge, keep the knowledge flowing, ladies and gentlemen. It's always welcomed here.
Absolutely. And that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, a huge shout out to my channel members, my Egg Crusaders, Arch, Shadow, Metal, Magpie, Hollow, Turbler, and Ronin. Thank you all so much for becoming channel members. Y'all truly make this content possible. And yes, I hope you all have yourselves a very, very good one. Peace, and thank you.